Yeah, never heard of a team called the Zebras. And any,
4 different legends as to how that name was.
I just assumed in like 1984 when people were wearing like zebra pants, like the school voted or something. Huh.
Should we get it rolling?
I think so. Hello and welcome to Friday Night Football here on PlayOnSports.com. It's the PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from A.G. Spano Stadium in Stockton, California. I'm Greg Cotta alongside Marcus Zamzow on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup is the opening game of the season, so while both records are 0-0, we've got the Elk Grove Thundering Herd going up against the hosts, the Lincoln Trojans. So the Thundering Herd, coming in from Elk Grove, Marcus, it seems like we're going to have a really good game here, a couple of powerhouses. We just had the coin toss, and we're going to have to step aside pretty soon for the national anthem, but do you have any thoughts for us before the game?
Yeah, both teams are coming off very similar and impressive seasons last year. The Thundering Herd came off with a 12-1 season, and the Lincoln Trojans came off with 11-2. They both lost into the semifinals of their divisional championship games. These are two big, like you were saying, big heavyweight teams of the area. Traditionally, both fairly running teams. Looks like with the second-string quarterback coming in for Elk Grove, they're going to pass a little bit more than they normally would. He's got a little bit of a better arm than their starting guy. The other guy is out for disciplinary action, they say. Here comes the...
So actually, we are going to step aside right now for the anthem. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back in just a moment. This is PlayOnSports.com. Yeah.
Pretty big on this side, but I'm talking about over there. Usually Elk Grove travels better than this. You think for this game.
Okay, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we've just had the anthem, and now it's the Elk Grove Thundering Herd coming up against the Lincoln Trojans. So as you were just talking about before we took that break, Marcus, it seems like that these are two big schools of their areas coming in together to start off the season. Going to be a tough schedule for both of them, as you were saying.
Yeah, they both end up playing a bunch of the big schools in the area, similar like the ex-section champions, perennial playoff teams. They have a big, brutal schedule. Elk Grove's coming in being led by their running backs, number 21, Wadis Parker, and returning Delta Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year, number 4, Robert Frazier. He had a phenomenal season last year while sharing time. He had over 2,500 yards, or around 2,500 yards in rushing.
So kicking off for Elk Grove High is going to be Justin Sine. And two returners back for Lincoln High. Lincoln High elected to receive. They will be going from left to right across your computer screen. And the hands are up. Here comes the kick, and we are starting the season. And the kick goes back into the end zone toward number 22 for Lincoln High, Justin Davis, one of their running backs. So there is no return on the play, and Lincoln's going to be starting from their own 20. A beautiful evening at this point. Sun's just setting over to our left on a beautiful field here in Stockton, California.
Little Delta breeze kicking in, blowing the flag around.
Definitely. We do have a little bit of wind going against Lincoln High, but it shouldn't be too much to cause that much of a difference. Now under center for Lincoln High, number 7, Zach Greenlee, the starting quarterback, 6'2", 185. Lincoln starting in an I formation. The snap rolls out to his right. Evading tackle, he goes downfield to Vega, number 8, and it is just out of his reach. A good streak route along the side, but it doesn't seem like they were able to keep it in play.
Yeah, the defensive line got a little pressure on that, got up in his arm as he was making the pass.
So Nigel Vega, a wide receiver and defensive back, wide receiver obviously on that play, 6'1", 170, and he is a senior. Greenlee under center again. Single back formation. And a pitch over to the left, but he is stopped 4 yards short of the line. Able to hold on to the ball. It looked like there was a chase for a fumble for a second. However, that was a great feat there for Elk Grove's defensive line once again.
Again, they had really good penetration. Elk Grove's defensive line's a little bit undersized, but they are really fast against the bigger, stronger probably Lincoln offensive line. They can use their speed to get off the blocks. They just got to avoid getting caught by those big old Bubba arms.
So that pitch went back to number 22, Justin Davis, who is again on the field. It appears that he is going to be very essential to this offense. And now from shotgun formation, here's the snap. Going back, and that is a quick screen pass over to that exact same running back we were just discussing, Justin Davis, and he's able to get past the line of scrimmage and past the original line of scrimmage. Only that's going to make it 4th down and 5 to go.
Justin Davis had almost 2,400 yards and 22 touchdowns last year. He was averaging almost a first down per carry. He was averaging 8.7 yards per carry. With that little screen pass, he was about just right at his average.
So it appears that Lincoln is going to be going for it when they are on their own 25-yard line. Let's see what play they've got in their pocket. In the backfield, once again, Greenlee and Davis. And there appears to be a stop clock for a moment as an adjustment to the ball being placed is made. And a flag over on the far side of the field. And that's going to be an offsides penalty on Elk Grove, which means on the 4th and 5, Lincoln is able to convert a first down by getting Elk Grove to jump across sides and across the line of scrimmage and cause an encroachment.
It looks like he's talking to number 55, either the tackle or the outside linebacker over there. He may have lined up offsides. I couldn't see too much movement over there. He may have lined up with his head over the ball.
55 being Dior Vela. So Lincoln gets a fresh set of downs, and they got a lot of pep in their step now. Let's see how they go with this 3-wide set. Going into motions, Stephon Robinson stops for the block, but again, that Elk Grove defensive line is able to bust through, and there is no gain on the play. I believe the tackle is going to, I could be wrong, but it could be Dior Vela, who just got called for the penalty. Seems he may have made up for it on that stop right there.
Had a little assistance from number 14, Bawan Canada, one of the leading juniors coming into the game tonight. He's playing the tackle / defensive end position.
And Lincoln again in the shotgun formation, this time 2nd and 12. 9:29 left on the clock, still 0-0. Here Lincoln versus Elk Grove as he drops back to pass, and Greenlee leads his receiver just too much. That was Stephon Robinson, who has been making a lot of movement, trying to find open position in the slot, but the throw wasn't quite on target.
Looked like Robert Frazier, number 4, got his hand in there. He's one of Elk Grove's leading defensive players.
So Elk Grove, really, with the exception of that penalty that gave up a first down, which was looking like it was kind of looking like a fluke because for the most part they were shutting down this Lincoln offense. 4 wide out for the 3rd down. And again, with the hard count, they're able to make a flag go on Elk Grove. I don't know who they're going to call it on. I saw maybe, it's looking like number 25, I'm being informed. 52, pardon.
52, Casey Whalen.
Casey Whalen, who jumped across. I saw a lot of movement, but that's Oh, actually, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. That is actually going to be called a false start on the offensive line. At this moment, I'm not. I mean, from up here, it really looked like it was the defense that goofed, but Lincoln's actually coming back now for a 3rd and 17. Lincoln with 3 wideouts again. And the snap back, but here comes the blitz. Greenlee's able to evade, runs on the throw on the run. He's got Robinson open. He's able to snag it down there. He's got it at the 30. One big play changing everything. And now Lincoln has gone 20 yards past midfield. And here they are coming toward field goal range.
That was blown coverage, great pattern by Ravon Alexander, number 4.
That was it. So Alexander with the big catch, and more impressive to me, though, Marcus, was Zach Greenlee able to make that throw on the run. It really, like, you know, he had his momentum going. He was able to hit his target right in the hands. So now with the strong I formation, here comes Justin Davis, and he's able to move forward slightly, maybe a gain of 1 or 2, or maybe a loss of 1 on the other end.
Looked like Trevor Harlow, number 9, got in on that tackle along with most of the defensive line.
Right. I think it might be credited to Casey Whalen, but it's hard to credit one of those tackles because it seemed like maybe 4 or 5 people in on it.
It's a good swarm tackle. Everybody getting involved on the defense tonight.
Greenlee back in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. He's able to throw an out route over to number 5, Ravon Alexander, who's able to juke 1, 2, and 3, and then tackled by all of them. But that is a first down for Lincoln. Lincoln's now moving. Marcus, how do you think that big play seemed to affect both this offense and this defense?
Seems like it gave the offense a little bit more of a pep in their step. They're getting up to the line a little bit faster. The Greenlee is known as being a tough kid. He looks good under pressure tonight, so we're going to keep an eye on the defensive penetration, see how he holds up.
So Greenlee again with a fresh set of downs. 2 backs behind them, and it's a counter to over to the right, but again, the run defense for Elk Grove is going rather well, but we do have some laundry on the field. We'll let you know what this flag's all about.
Defensive line, if that's a holding call, the defensive line may be frustrating the bigger Lincoln Trojans offensive line. Being the fast guys, sometimes they get a little bit off to the side of the bigger offensive linemen. I think that's what's happening tonight.
And I think that was definitely the call. So the penetration coming from the defensive line seemed to be getting, as you mentioned, to the minds of Lincoln's O-line.
Ended up being a chop block or a cut block.
So now 1st and 24 as the penalty was from the spot of the foul. And Lincoln again in a pickle, but that hasn't seemed to stop him yet. Greenlee and Davis in the backfield. 7:27 on the clock, still 0-0. Greenlee back, able to evade temporarily, and he's able to get rid of the ball.
That was a smart play by Greenlee, getting rid of that ball. Number 21, Wadis Parker with the penetration. He's been up across the line pretty much all night. They're just going to keep putting pressure on Greenlee.
Now that seems like the game plan. Wadis Parker being an outside linebacker, but coming in with the full-on blitz. It really seems like Greenlee is not having much time back there. But as you mentioned, a tough kid. We'll see how he handles the difficulty of this front 7. So 2nd and 24. 7:18 on the clock. Ravon Alexander into motion, then sweeping right. It's a run play going up the middle. And that is going to be a tackle by Spencer Sheff.
Came up from the free safety position?
I think he did come. It appears that Elk Grove seems to have Davis's number. Justin Davis being the running back from Lincoln once again. It appears that every time he gets the ball, Elk Grove is ready for him to have it. as if he's such a threat for them. And, when you're bringing in defensive backs, let's see if, last time Greenlee was able to take advantage of that and go downfield. Let's see what he does here on the 30.
That was my fault. He's an inside linebacker.
Greenlee back and an outside linebacker chasing him from behind. He throws on the run. He hits his target, and that is a touchdown just on the inside of the pylon. And they did give it to him. It looked like a touchdown from here because it was. So Lincoln going over the top of the blitz. Greenlee is able to evade.
Noah Latuli-Gasanoa with the pressure coming from the backside. Great concentration, great pass under pressure from Greenlee.
And
I couldn't see who.
And yeah, just outside of our view, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. We could not see who made that catch. Oh, it was Greenlee. Oh, so to Robinson, correct. So that was Stefan Robinson, number 5. So congratulations to him on one heck of a catch. And Christian Ayala coming in for the extra point. It's up, and it is good. The Lincoln Trojans now up 7-0 with 6:56 on the clock in the first quarter. Quite a drive from them. It seemed like they were running into some trouble, but they kept finding ways to outsmart the defense, and it really paid off.
Yeah, Greenlee was working under pressure pretty much that whole drive, and he handled it really, really well.
And so we are now setting up for the kickoff. Coming back for Elk Grove on the receiving. 2 men back. It appears we have Wadis Parker coming onto the field again, number 21, as well as number 4, Robert Frazier.
Yeah, Zach Greenlee was one of the contestants on the Elite 11 quarterback challenge on ESPN. He finished 4th. So it's no surprise, really, that he's handling that pressure really well tonight.
So here comes the kick, and it is going back, and it's a booming one. That kick is going to go. Wadis Parker takes it at the 10. He's running, and he is finding the holes, but he is tripped up by the ankles at the 29. I'd say one tackle away from breaking it to the paint.
Little shoestring tackle there. Reaching out for his legs.
Andrew Massey on the tackle. And they are going to have it from their own 30. And we get to finally see Elk Grove's offense after a pretty long drive from England. Pardon, from Lincoln.
Got Olympics on the mind.
So here comes the handoff to the right for Robert Frazier, who is going to the right. Looks like a 12-yard run, and then tackled by Nigel Vega.
Robert Frazier is one of the returning backs for Elk Grove. He had a wonderful season last year. He's looking to continue it into his senior year.
So under center for Elk Grove
Guy Hall.
is, yes, Guy Hall, who is typically the backup quarterback, but as we mentioned, he has got the start tonight and has one strong arm, so that does just get them the first down after that. Just a quick run up the middle. And coming in now is number 14, Bawan Canada. So we'll see. That's a name we're supposed to be able to remember. We'll see how he factors in. Guy Hall under center with a pro formation. And flags on the field again. We'll see who this goes, if it's going to be the O-line or the D-line. I saw a lot of movement on the defensive line, but they could have gotten the O-line to jump.
Looks like Lincoln jumped.
So Lincoln did jump, and that's going to give Elk Grove 5 yards.
Sometimes when the linebackers come up and tap the defensive lineman like that, it makes them like flinch and jump across the line. That may have been what happened.
Early season jitters here for both teams. 5:51 on the clock. Again, Trojans leading their visiting Elk Grove Thundering Herd 7-0. A handoff over to back to his right, but up the middle to number 21. Again, Wadis Parker.
Elk Grove's known for pulling their line a lot. That time they pulled the backside, looked like the backside guard or tackle, kicked out and pulled up through the line, made a couple pretty good blocks inside there.
It appeared that Glaros was on the tackle for Lincoln High. So it's 3rd and short now. Let's see what weapon comes out for Guy Hall. Now lining up at the end is Armando Martinez as he moves out into motion but then comes back in. Now down on the line, and the run is going to go over to the right far side of the field, but flags have flown calling the ball dead. Once again, here from the referee. And so it's going to be an illegal rotation over for Elk Grove, or illegal formation, pardon me, for Elk Grove, and that's going to send them back. Now, penalties like this, Marcus, like everybody knows that they're difficult and they're bad, but do you think that this could really halt the momentum for this drive?
It's the cliche that those are the drive killers. Holding penalties and offsides penalties are always the drive killers.
So
see what Elk Grove can do to get it back.
Thundering Herd now with 3rd and 7, rolling out to the far right is Hall, and he's going to take it and run, but tripped up from behind. A great wrap-up tackle coming from Curtis Young Gaines for Lincoln High, and that was impressive, stopping him from reaching the first down marker. And it looks like the special teams unit is coming onto the field.
That was great penetration by number 3, Curtis Young Gaines. Great tackle, took out his legs, couldn't run anywhere. Made the stop 3 yards, almost 4 yards short.
So Osha Washington going back to receive the punt, and punting is number 8, Justin Singh. Also kicking for the kickoffs. And it is a high punt going back. Looks like it's going to be received at the 25. A fair catch is called. And so that's going to bring Greenlee and the Lincoln offense back out on the field. 3:51 on the clock in the first quarter. First down for the Trojans at the 26 as they lead 7-0. Both teams have all of their timeouts.
That was a great defensive start for the Trojans. They really got that good penetration. That's what it's going to come down to tonight is 1 or 2 big stops on defense because this is going to be a high-scoring game.
So an offense that figured out how to get it done despite the strong front 7 coming from Elk Grove High. And here's Greenlee back in shotgun. He steps back, looks to his right, and he's able to make a completion to number 14, Jordan McMiller. Tight end coming from the line with a quick out route, and that was a nice play to keep things moving. Going to be a gain of 7 for him.
That was Greenlee getting the pass off really quick. Still getting pressure from those outside linebackers, and he's just settling in real nice and getting rid of the ball quick.
So we're over toward the hashtag on our side of the field, or pardon, hash mark on our side of the field. 3:15 on the clock. Greenlee under center. Coming to motion is Alexander, but then they're going to try the run again. And look at that. He is staying up, but he ends up falling backward, I'd say about 5 yards. We'll see where he gets some progress, but it appears, yep, that's where he's going to get it on the 25-yard line. This Elk Grove front 7 seems unstoppable at this point.
They're just keep getting great penetration. They just got to keep that up all night. If they keep that up, they can frustrate the offensive line of the Lincoln Trojans.
So Lincoln looks they have initially 3 down linemen, or we'll see what they do with their outside linebackers who have been getting most of the action though. Towel out on the field by Justin Davis. Seems to be no problem for Greenlee. After a hard snap, no jump. Greenlee going with the cannon of a throw that is not quite caught. They're calling it incomplete. I mean, that was quite a hit over the middle.
That was Nigel Vega, number 8.
Nigel Vega.
Went up high for that pass, and they got in on his ribs. It looked like they got it out. They knocked it out just as he was starting to establish the catch.
And a helmet like that can really cause some wind to be lost. Now, both teams taking a knee at this moment.
Greenlee he's just a cool customer under pressure back there. He put that one in real nice. It just drifted a little bit high, made Nigel Vega go up a little bit, and the defensive guys got under him a little bit, maybe knocked the wind out of him.
So he
Looks
is
like he's
up.
getting up and being a tough kid.
Yeah, good to see that. See Nigel Vega get up after making a great grab that would have been very difficult to hold on to. And that's the kind of hit that knocks the wind out of you, but he looks to be okay, and we'll see how that progresses throughout the rest of the game. So it's 4th and 11 now with 2 minutes and 7 seconds on the clock. And once again, Lincoln in a shotgun formation. They do not seem to be worried about the 4th down aspect for the second time today. Quick punt, and it goes off of the offensive line. Elk Grove is able to jump on it, and so it is going to be recovered by number 9 for Elk Grove. What an exciting play.
Trevor Haro got down on that ball. That was just trying to do a quick kick. It backfired. He kicked it right into the back of one of the offensive linemen. Good scramble for the ball. Defense.
Oh, so it ended up being off of Davis, the running back. It was a low kick. Now, seeing Greenlee step back for an extra deep shotgun, it seemed like some type of trickery was coming. But now Elk Grove with great field position here on the 15. And the offense starts with a quick run for somebody in the fullback position. 21 is able to break through. That is Wadis Parker, who is able to blaze through the linebackers in the secondary and waltz into the end zone. 6-7, Elk Grove is back in this game.
That was an outstanding run. They made contact with him about a yard into it, and he just kept going, kept driving his knees, drove right in for the touchdown.
So Wadis Parker at 5'9" and 190. Looking like a wrecking ball as he goes up the middle. And here comes the extra point team.
Wadis is one of the leading rushers from last year also, returning.
The kick is up, and it is straight through the uprights. We are at 7-7. 1:52 on the clock in the first quarter. As Marcus mentioned earlier, it looks like we're going to have a high-scoring game.
Do you want to watch more of your high school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
So thank you for that, Marcus. Now it looks like Elk Grove going to be able to kick off to our left here.
They were really able to take advantage of that mistake by the Trojans. That's one of the other keys for the night. Is just whoever makes the least mistakes is going to end up winning this game.
It might even come down to whoever has the ball last with the way that these offenses are working.
It's going to be a track meet.
So Osha Washington, as well as Justin Davis, back to receive this kick. Hands are up, the feet are moving, and we've got another kickoff. Washington there to receive, and he moves over to the left. In comes Elk Grove, though. Trips him once, trips him twice, and he's going to go down at around the 15-yard line. Beautiful tackle coming in from Trevor Haro, who seems to be all over the field in special teams and defense today.
Elk Grove really stayed in their lanes on that kickoff. They looked like they were, Lincoln was trying to get to the outside on the far side of the field, and they just kept their lanes and were real disciplined on that play and made a really good tackle. Again, team tackle.
Right, good fundamentals coming from, especially the special teams here. But they seem to have, all of Elk Grove's tackles seem to be very clean and noteworthy. So here's Greenlee under center. Says a few words to his center and steps back for shotgun. Greenlee steps back and throws an out route over to number 8, Nigel Vega, who breaks a few tackles and dives past the 35-yard line, going to be at the 36. So a beautiful, very athletic work coming in from Lincoln again, and that gives him another first down.
That's a great play against the zone defense. It's hard to get all the way down into the flats down there. Vega just made a real nice move on the first tackler and gained that first down.
Pretty good turnout here in Stockton, California, especially here on the home side, as it is the opening game of the season. When I look to my left and my right, there are nothing but full seats. And even quite a commute for Elk Grove on the other side. Still a couple hundred people there as well. So, as I mentioned, a good turnout. And there seemed to be hesitation, but that is going to be an incomplete pass. It appeared like
miscommunication with the offensive line. Everyone looks like they're talking to the center about that one. He snapped it a little bit early, I think.
Right, so it seemed like the offensive line was sleeping a bit and the defensive line was on top of their game.
Very heads-up play by Greenlee, getting rid of that ball even though he had no protection.
Definitely. So over on the hash mark here at the 36, 2nd and 10 to go for the Trojans. Greenlee looks left. And the snap. Greenlee throws right to where he was looking. He saw the target before, and he's able to get another first down. You know, it's good to see that. So that did go to, again, Nigel Vega. You know, it's kind of fun from up here when we get to see the quarterback look and say, oh, yeah, there's my guy. And we know exactly where the ball's going. So a heads-up play for Greenlee to be able to read the read the defense, and it's first down again.
Looks like the Elk Grove corners are giving him plenty of space, giving him a big cushion. They may be worried about the speed on the deep throw. Greenlee's got a rocket of an arm, so he can get it down the field, as you've seen a couple times tonight.
So this appears to be a timeout, but it's actually a sideline warning against Elk Grove. So it is just a warning, and we will put the huddle back together.
The first game of the season, the players like to sneak up on the sideline, take a better look, see what's going on.
Again, those first game of the season jitters. Greenlee looks left and sends Stephon Robinson into motion, but he's able to block a linebacker just to buy for a few yards.
Again, great penetration by number 6, Spencer Sheff. He's been in the backfield a lot tonight too. They're just pinning their ears back and just going for it.
And so that was Justin Davis again for the run. This time for a gain of 2. But he has been trouble even getting past the line of scrimmage. But it's still early in the game. A minute to go in the first quarter. The clock is running. Tied 7-7. So we'll see how the Trojans are able to close out this quarter. Greenlee back, and a pass is batted back.
Wade's Parker just got penetration again, used his athleticism, and got up and swatted that one into the cheap seats.
He looked like a power forward swatting that one away. It looked like a nice NBA-style block. Definitely going to think twice before throwing a quick screen. So the clock is stopped at 40.1 seconds. Again, 7-7, 3rd and 8.
Elk Grove's just using their speed to get that good penetration still.
Good patience from the Elk Grove defense to make sure that they can wait for the play to unfold before they go and make their move, because they're fast enough to be patient. So Greenlee here in the backfield takes a snap. Another blitz coming in, and it appears that an interception is made. However, again, a flag down on the field. They're saying that it was a catch and it was an interception.
Robert Frazier got that one.
And
trying to see what the penalty is.
We'll wait on the penalty because it is crucial in this situation, but they're calling it a catch. It may be a penalty declined, possibly offensive pass interference, as the Elk Grove defense is showing some applause. It looks like that this is going to happen. So holding is called on the offense, and pass interference is called on the defense, and they are going to offset. So Lincoln with a good break, actually.
Dodged a bullet on that one.
And so they're going to get another shot here.
Looks like the ref is talking to number 4, Robert Frazier. He must have been the one. He may have grabbed a little bit to get that interception. a little quick swing move or a shove to get that interception.
So not only that, but it is not fourth down, and they do not lose the ball. Close break there for Lincoln, 30.7 on the clock. Lincoln in the huddle now. Coming out with 4 weapons of wide receivers as well as Jones in the backfield. 5 down linemen for the offense. And the pass goes back and the rush is coming. Greenlee able to get away, but he has to tuck down and he gets popped.
Greenlee got smacked by Bawan Canada, and again in the backfield, Spencer Sheff, number 6.
So that's going to send the ball back to the 48. 4th and 11 now with 10 seconds to go. However, it looks like Lincoln's going to let this clock run out before they get the punt off. So yeah, with 2 seconds to go, that is going to be the end of the first quarter. It's a close game here in Lincoln for the Lincoln Trojans and the Elk Grove Thundering Herd, as we are going to move the ball 4 yards in the other direction and punt the other way.
Play on Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to the great highlights. Follow us on Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week for your destination in high school sports. PlayOnSports.com.
So for those of you just tuning in now, I am Greg Cott alongside Marcus Zamzow. We are broadcasting for the Play on Sports Network on PlayOnSports.com and also being broadcasted through YouTube as we start the second quarter here in Stockton, California. So Marcus, it's tied 7-7 and we've got a punt coming up, so there have been a lot of trading of possessions, but do you think that there's a team that specifically has the momentum here?
I think it's pretty even. They're both having really good defensive games. This was from the records, from the history, this was supposed to be more of a high-scoring game. It looks like it's more of a defensive struggle tonight. Elk Grove's getting a lot of penetration, and the Lincoln Trojans are also making a lot of good plays on defense.
So Robert Frazier back to return the punt. He's standing on his own 15, and a high snap goes bouncing past the punter. He's scrambling, and he's able to get a punt up, and it's going to get toward the line of scrimmage. Only we have a roughing the punter, it looks like. Elk Grove falls on it on their own 48, but we're really going to have to hear from the referees to tell you what's going on.
That could be a huge mistake by number 25, Elijah Jones.
So again, possibly a good break for Lincoln High School, as that was a very poorly placed snap that went, I'd say, 10 yards over the punter's head.
And he went back to his rugby skills and got rid of that kick on the run under pressure.
Heads-up play from a punter to be able to get something out of it, as the 4 referees discuss what just happened.
Number 1, Washington, he was running for his life back there and just got that punt off. It looks like they may have.
So actually, it was
penalty.
not roughing the punter. It was a face mask penalty called against the Trojans. So there seems to be confusion on both the sidelines as well as up here in the press booth. However, Elk Grove going to be able to take that penalty and move forward 10 yards from where they picked up the ball. So they're now going to have the ball on their own 43-yard line.
On the Lincoln 43-yard line.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So now after the first snap for Elk Grove High, so that's going to be Guy Hall who takes the option himself, but appears he's stopped short.
That looked like a blown play. Looks like he was trying to hand it off to somebody that was not there.
Early season jitters seems to be the theme of this game, but that's going to make it 2nd and 13 as he falls 3 yards short of the line of scrimmage.
The wing T offense has a lot of complicated fakes and jukes in the backfield. It's really easy to get tied up and have one person take a step the wrong way. It can mess up the whole play.
So with coming from that wing T offense, and here he comes. Here comes number 21, Wadis Parker. And he is able to bust through Lincoln's defense once again. It seems like once he gets enough opportunities, he's going to break one. And that one is good for a first down and then some. Now it appears that they're going to be on the Lincoln 27-yard line.
Another great run by Parker. He's just been real strong tonight. They're getting him early. They're touching him early, but he's just running right through those tackles.
So Elk Grove with another big run. Elk Grove having very good field position for various reasons. As another blown play, it looks like, perhaps Guy Hall having difficulty as he is typically the backup quarterback here, but it seems like he just kind of had to fall on the ball.
He fumbled the snap on that one, or fumbled the handoff.
Fumbled something for sure, and he had to fall on the ball, so here it comes now with 2nd and 10, able at least to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, good heads-up play getting back on the ball. Don't just give up on it and let it sit there.
So they brush off the dirt and they try again. Here comes Elk Grove. And with a quick run up the middle, that's going to go to number 4, Robert Frazier, and he finds the end zone. Frazier able to dice up the defense. It's now 13-7 with 10 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock in the second quarter. What an exciting run coming from Elk Grove. It appears that the secondary linebackers all seem caught up by the blocking from Elk Grove.
That was just standard. They call it the cross buck, where they pull the play side and the backside guard. Play side guard kicks out, the backside guard turns up. The backside guard got up on those linebackers and just blew a huge hole for Frazier.
So plenty of rushing room as the extra point goes up, and once again it's good. So 14-7, Elk Grove. Now 14 unanswered points. It seems like they really are turning this game around, especially with a few Lincoln mistakes. But with 10-10 left in the second quarter, there's still a lot of opportunity for both teams.
The Thundering Herd's starting to settle in. They're, getting good runs on almost every play now. We'll see how the Lincoln Trojans respond to the 14 in a row.
So Washington and Davis again back for the kickoff.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championships events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
So as we set up for the kickoff, which worth noting is that the kickoffs have gone very well in favor of Elk Grove.
They've been really good about covering the kickoffs. That's one of the things that's neglected at some schools, but it seems like the Elk Grove is staying disciplined in their lanes. You can see how they stay in their lanes as they come down the field.
So here comes Washington coming out to the sideline. He's able to get to the 25 to the 30, and he is, again, there's a good wrap-up tackle, this time coming from number 14, Brandon Anguiano, pardon.
That was Bawan, Canada from Elk Grove. We had the sheets backwards.
Oh, my apologies.
That was a great run. He bounced to the outside and got outside of the lanes that I was talking about.
So a quick alteration of the play from Washington. And as you mentioned, Bawan, Canada on the tackle. And now Lincoln's coming here with 4 backs, and they seem to be able to put it to use because this is the first time that we have seen Lincoln able to break a run. But, of course, it's coming again from Justin Davis.
The Lincoln Trojans just gave the Elk Grove Thundering Herd a little taste of their own medicine. They just pulled a couple linemen, came up the field, got the big bodies on the smaller bodies, and blew a nice hole for the running back.
Now, Marcus, I noticed that Lincoln showed up with 3 running backs in somewhat of a diamond formation behind the quarterback. Is that a full house? Am I correct? Or
looks like, yeah, full house. They can they usually lead one guy, fake with another, and then use the fast guy to bust through the holes.
So let's see how that strategy plays out as they seem to be sticking with it now. And again, they send both blockers over to the left side, and man, this kid has speed. Justin Davis able to break it to the 46-yard line. breaking the 50-yard line, and it seems like they've got momentum with this running game all of a sudden.
Again, just like we were talking about before, they used the two bigger running backs to lead the smaller running back, Davis. That was great blocking. They got an awesome seal on the outside, and Davis was just able to take advantage.
So on the
another first down.
On the 46-yard line here, 9:14 to go in the second quarter. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Here they come with the exact same formation. But this time it's a throw, and it is just short. But Elk Grove did not seem ready for that as they were bringing a quick blitz, which ended up also saving the play. That throw was incomplete over to Osha Washington.
Yeah, again, number 52, Casey Whalen, was getting some pressure from the inside. Greenlee was able to get rid of it quick, and he's just ice cold under pressure. Cool as a cucumber.
So with 9 minutes stopped on the clock, Greenlee comes again with three back running backs. And the linebackers are eyeing, but it's the same play over to the side, and it looks like Jones is going. He's going. He's past the 10, and he is in the end zone. What an exciting play to bring this game even closer. Now it's going to be 13-14 with the extra teams. Pardon. Oh, I'm breathing way too hard after that play.
That was Justin Davis, number 22. Again, same play. Number 44, Cyrus Boone, led that play right up the field, went to the outside, got another great seal on the Elk Grove defense. And
so, yeah, it was
Justin Davis was able to just take advantage and use his speed to get down the sideline.
And that was speed that we hadn't gotten to see from him just yet because he didn't have the space. But, man, once he was in the open field, it seemed like nobody could touch him. Now, on the field is Deshaun Campbell, who's back to kick, and he pops the extra point up, and it's good. 14-14 with 8:51 here in the second quarter. And the Thundering Herd is now going to get their chance for a rebuttal. But, man, that was some exciting run offense coming from the Lincoln Trojans.
That's that power formation that they were in. They just, like you said, if it's not fixed, don't. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They had those two big backs just leading the way for them, and Elk Grove had nothing to say about it.
And it seemed like the kind of strategy that Lincoln's coaching staff had kind of in their ace up the hole as they came out throwing and were able to put it to some success. But that run offense seems like it's been the most productive form of offense for either side that we've seen all night.
Yeah, Justin Davis had 2,500 yards last year with 22 touchdowns, so he's no joke. He's heading to USC next year.
A verbal
so
commitment.
It's a little taste of what they're going to get.
And Wadis Parker alongside Robert Frazier back, and Robert Frazier is breaking through but tripped up on his own blocker, Casey Whalen. But again, it seems like he is really gunning for the end zone every time he gets that ball. He's able to get all the way to the 36.
Yeah, he saw green grass and got a little excited, lost his footing.
Kickoffs are funny because it's one of the few times where you really have to be ready to be tackled from every single direction. So you'll see kind of a returner twirl his head around a bit, and sometimes that's when they lose their footing.
It's a madhouse out there. Everyone's coming at you. Very brave being back there as a return guy.
So Guy Hall under center with two backs and Laundry on the field.
Number 32, Adele Story, defensive lineman or outside linebacker, jumped on that one. Got a little excited.
And he comes trotting over to the sideline.
Coach is going to have a little chat with him.
And it seems like it's just a nice settle him down, make sure his nerves are under control. Sure, we'll see him back in just a moment. So now 1st and 5 with 8:44 on the clock. Guy Hall looks back. And the run is now coming to Wadis Parker. And he's able to twirl around for about a gain of 3.
Nice run by Mr. Parker. He was touched again in the backfield, and he just keeps shaking off those tackles. So looks like Lincoln's not going to be able to get him down with a upper body tackle. They're going to have to get down on his legs and get into his thigh pads.
So the spot is a bit further than 3 yards. As they now have about 1.5 yards to go for the first. And it's handed off, and they're able to get the quick first down. Quick heads-up play from Lincoln as that goes to number 6, Spencer Sheff.
That was either a dive or an inside trap where they pull the guard real quick, fast-hitting play, easy 4 or 5 yards.
Now the huddle's broken up here. Elk Grove High running a similar style offense. Hall goes back, and he seems to be ready to throw, but he is getting chased. He evades the blitz, and with the left-handed throw, he throws it to Wadis Parker, again, who is able to get out of the backfield and get open downfield. More movement coming from the Elk Grove offense.
A lot of pressure coming from the backside. He just held on the ball, nice and calm. Found Wadis Parker to the outside and put it in there real nice towards the sideline. Made it so he was able to, use the sideline as a help for him. Kept it away from the Lincoln defense.
So with smart offense
Great
from
play.
Elk Grove, they're now on their 38-yard line. 1st and 10. Some trickery going, and we've seen this play before. He's able to get down to the 8-yard line. A beautiful run from Robert Frazier.
That was another, they pulled the backside guard and kicked out, and he found that hole. He's fast out of the backfield. He's got real good feet. Found that hole, stayed tight to his guard. As soon as the guard cleared, he punched through that hole. Big gain, another big gain.
Robert Frazier listed at 5'8" and 180 pounds. Running like, again, just a little wrecking ball down there. It seems that once people get their hands on him, if they can, he's still even hard to bring down at that point. So Elijah Jones and Frazier in the backfield. And that is going to go to Jones, who seems like he was able to get a few yards of progress. And it's spotted at the 6-yard line. And it's not quite, it is going to be listed as 2nd and 6. It seems that so they are in goal. So it is going to be 2nd and 6, or 2nd and end zone, if you will.
Same play going the other direction. They pulled the backside guard. I think they may have pulled the backside guard and tackle. Let him right up the hole.
Hall under center with some trickery going back to Wadis Parker again. And they're able to inch even closer. Now it seems that it's going to be 3rd down and on the 2-yard line.
That was a good inside trap by the Thundering Herd. Looks like his knee went down before he crossed the goal line. He ended up in the goal, but I think his knee hit before.
So a couple substitutions over here down in the goal line area.
This is when you bring in your big boys and just run straight up the middle.
And I think that's what we're going to see. We're in kind of a power I formation here. And they aren't trying to disguise it. They are just going to go up the middle, and Lincoln High is ready.
Outstanding play.
And they're able to find the holes just quick enough. It looks like it's going to be 4th down on, I'd say, 3 or 4 feet from the end zone.
It looked like number 9, Adrian Ramos, with an outstanding play coming from the outside linebacker position. He sniffed that out before it even started. He was in the backfield. No one blocked him. Excellent tackle.
So with 5.5 minutes on the clock, it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field called. And both teams are going to be wanting to talk this over.
4th and goal from the 2. That's when there's not a whole lot of options for this one. You don't want to get too cute, but you don't want to do something that's so simple that they can sniff it out like they did last time. They just tried to punch it straight in last time, and the Lincoln Trojans were able to just sniff that right out.
And the timeout, by the way, coming from the Lincoln Trojans. We apologize for not informing you of that earlier, ladies and gentlemen. And Lincoln's coming back out, and And Marcus, this is going to be interesting to see. I mean, if the kicking unit comes out on the field, that's one thing. But, you know, this is I almost feel like every coach has their 2 yards away from the end zone play that they save almost for that moment.
That's what I was talking about. You don't want to get too cute, but you don't want to do something so simple. A lot of times you can run an option down here and see what's open. Attack the outside linebackers, and if he comes forward, you can pitch it. If he bails off, you can keep it.
So here's the run, and it's going to go into the end zone according to Elk Grove and according to the sideline referees. That is a touchdown for Lincoln High.
For Thundering Herd.
Or pardon, yes, for, I apologize. I got my colors switched there for a bit. He stands on the word Trojans, but it is the Thundering Herd for Elk Grove. And the special unit is on for the extra point. And the kick is up, but no good, so we'll see how that ties in. It's now going to be 20-14 with 5:24 on the clock. We're looking for information on who actually...
That play happened so fast and so tight that we couldn't even see who carried the ball on that touchdown.
I saw maybe 15 other numbers, but I didn't see the one of who was carrying the ball. So, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for that. We'll get that information to you as soon as we can.
During the timeout, the coaches probably talked to their lines about this is the kind of play that that stands out. You got 2 yards. If you're the offense, you just want to get down and dirty and just push them right back. If you're the defense, you have to dig in and not let that happen. It was really close coming over the line. The Lincoln Trojans held tough, but Elk Grove was able to sneak it in.
So the touchdown ended up going to Wadis Parker, we've been informed. I would like to thank the fellow members up here in the press booth for being able to help us out with that. So 20-14, again with 5:24 on the clock. Lincoln with their 2 usual returners after a very long drive from Elk Grove. Osha Washington as well as Justin Davis. And the ball is going back to the Washington, but we have a whistle blown and flags over on Elk Grove's side of the field.
Somebody got a little excited, got ahead of the kicker before he could get it off.
And Elk Grove's walking backwards. So again, penalties kind of being a subtext of this game, both going in favor and against both teams.
Little penalties are a thorn in your side.
Exactly, and this thorn is going to make Elk Grove have to kick off from their own 35. Now on the last kickoff, it was Bowan Canada who was able to make it in for the tackle very deep against the Trojans. Let's see who steps up this time. Hands up, hands down, and the ball is booted like a laser back to Washington. And he catches it around the 5, and he breaks to the 20. Stopped at the 24-yard line. Initially stopped around the 22, but he was able to move that forward, I'd say 6 or 7 feet.
Great tackle by number 78, David Fennis, I apologize. He got onto his legs. He was struggling, and he held on tight. Got him down and waited for help to come.
David Fennis, a senior, showing leadership on that special teams unit. So as the drum line's kicking up, trying to bring their team back into this, here comes this power formation again from Lincoln. Let's see what they do with it. And this time it turns into a counter to the other side, and man, that kid's legs can churn like butter. So that's going to be a couple-yard game for Jones.
They went with that same action, but they went to the backside that time. I think they may have pulled a guard coming across. They used the two fullback type positions, and then made Elk Grove defense shuffle that way and tried to go backside. Got an easy 3 yards out of that one.
So Lincoln now playing much more small ball, trying to chip away at this, I'd say, very energetic Elk Grove High defense. And a play action goes back, and here comes Greenlee scrambling, and he throws over the sideline, but he's going to throw that away on the opposite side of the field from us.
Great penetration again by the Elk Grove defense. Casey Whalen put that last little bit of pressure on, but he was getting pressured even right as soon as the play started.
So 4:30 on the clock. Elk Grove up 20-14 in this matchup. For those just tuning in, this is PlayOnSports.com's broadcast on YouTube we're here in Stockton, California with the Lincoln High Trojans and the visiting Thundering Herd of Elk Grove High. I'm Greg Cotta alongside Marcus Zamzow. 20-14, 4:30 on the clock, remaining in the first half. Shotgun formation for Lincoln. Steps back and a quick drop is going to go to number 14 for Lincoln, Jaireen Galiza. I apologize. It appears that I have the wrong roster in front of me. That is actually Jordan McMiller. So I actually, for those of you interested, I did just read number 14 of the JV roster. So my apologies. Speaking of early season jitters.
He's a good kid too, though.
Sure, he would have also made the catch. So here comes a quick handoff to number 22, Davis, and he is, Davis.
Justin Davis.
Justin Davis. With a solid carry and possibly a call for the chain gang. We'll see. Nope, they're going to call that a first down, so that's going to be a first down here just short of their own 45-yard line.
Dior Vela came down from his tackle / defensive end position 10 yards down the field to make that play. Never gave up on that play. Came up with a pretty good tackle from behind.
So here comes the snap with 3:14 on the clock, and it's going to be a quick screen pass over to Vega, number 8, just on our sideline here, Nigel Vega. And that is going to be a drop. He seemed a little frustrated with himself, but overall a well-designed play. 2nd and 10.
That was a bubble screen trying to take advantage of
the front seven or
the zone defense.
The zone defense coming
Holy
in.
moly. Just got a little excited. Had too much blocking and too much green grass.
Right.
I'd look for that play coming to the other side.
So now 5-6 of the Thundering Herd showing blitz, but only bringing 5 in. It's going to be a run up the middle, and that is Davis with a spin 10 yards in and dragging the Thundering Herd all on his lonesome. Passes the 40-yard line. He's at the 39. That was some power running coming in from Lincoln High.
That was just the Lincoln Trojans just saying, we're bigger than you. We're coming right at you. See what you can do about it.
So smash mouth football here in Stockton, California. 3 minutes on the clock, 20-14, Elk Grove with the lead.
Lincoln's getting in and out of huddle really quick, trying to take advantage of, try to wear out the smaller Elk Grove defense.
So Greenlee back in shotgun. Takes a snap back, and there's another quick throw over to the right side, but it appears he steps just out of bounds. That was Osha Washington.
Number 4, Robert Frazier, tried to go low and just knocked him out of bounds. Stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we'll select our player of the game, as well as wrap up all the action from tonight's ball game. That's coming up following the game at your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So here's the snap coming back, and again a bubble screen, this time going over to number 2, Chris Valeros, who's able to come back, cut toward the middle of the field, and fall just short of a first down.
That was an outstanding open field tackle by Spencer Sheff. He read that play pretty well. They're, again, taking advantage of that deep zone defense. The cornerbacks are backing off, giving them space to run. The Elk Grove defense has been really good about those open field tackles. They've only given up that one real big play.
So now with 2:05 coming here to what we would be a 2-minute warning. So we tick past it, and here comes that power formation again. Davis able to break past the 30, past the 20, juke, 15, 10, and down at the 8-yard line. The 9. So another beautiful run up the middle, able to split the safeties, cut to the outside, and now they're in the goal zone.
Great run by Davis. Robert Frazier came from all the way across the field to make that tackle at the very end. Davis is not going to be brought down easily tonight.
So now normally when I see running backs make runs like that, you know, they tend to be huffing and puffing, and Davis seems to be as well. But despite that, he's having the same level of success every time, like he's just not letting up. So it's going back to Davis, and this time he is stopped just short. Whistle blown, and the stop is going to be called, or the tackle is going to be granted to number
Bawan Canada,
14,
number 14.
Bawan Canada, who we've definitely had our eye on throughout this game.
That was another one. The Trojans just wanted to go straight up at the Elk Grove defense. Elk Grove was able to sneak around the offensive line, the big offensive line. A lot of the Elk Grove players are playing both ways, so we got to keep an eye on them, see how their conditioning was over the summer. So going against that big Lincoln defense tends to wear you down after those, going against those big grinders all night. So far, they're holding tough.
So that defense is holding tough, and we're actually going to have a timeout from the Trojans here with 1:05 left on the clock. As I mentioned, that Lincoln offense seeming to get tired as they bring out the green Gatorade bottles.
Again, it's more of a defensive struggle than what we were assuming was going to come from these two big high-scoring offenses.
So Elk Grove now trotting back out onto the field, looking a little bit fresher. And now coming out is Lincoln as well, also with fresh legs. But on the sideline is actually Davis, who seems to be catching a breather here before the first half. Again, mentioning that conditioning, but he's also been dragging defenders as he runs down the field. Here's Greenlee. The snap goes back, looks right, and there is an out route going to the corner, but it is thrown just a little too deep and out of bounds. Good coverage coming from Robert Frazier, number 4 for the Thundering Herd.
Frazier kept to the outside, tried to take away that back corner of the end zone. Did a real good job about taking away that back corner from Vega.
So now that it is 3rd and 10 with 59.8 on the clock, Davis back in the game. Four wideouts. Greenlee looks to his right, and he throws over the middle, and that was a dangerous throw. That was
intended for Ravon Alexander.
So Ravon Alexander not able to get to that one, as he seemed to have both linebackers and some of the secondary around in his general area.
That was a little touchy, thrown into a lot of traffic right there.
So Greenlee trying to thread the needle here in the closing minute of the game. 4th and 10 for the Trojans as they're down 20-14. Greenlee, however, talking to the coaching staff with the ball on the 10-yard line. And a timeout is called again by Lincoln, so that's going to be their final timeout. 56.6 on the clock. They got to think this over, because looking at this here, a field goal would be nice, making it 17-20 and bringing it into one possession again, or just a field goal to tie it. However, it seems like Lincoln is really discussing the possibility of going for this.
Yeah, it seems like they're going away from their kicking game tonight. They're putting a lot of confidence into Greenlee.
So a couple huddles over here for Lincoln. One for the offensive line, one for the rest of the guys. Seems like they might need possibly a strong push coming up here. Elk Grove on the other side, continuing their confidence, as they have been able, up until recently, really shut down this running game, but it looks like Lincoln is learning how to push and give that extra 10%. And we have a ball game. So Greenlee and Davis in the backfield here on 4th and 10 as Lincoln is going to go for it. Some exciting football here from Stockton, California. And the snap goes back. And a pass is thrown, and it is caught, toes in. That was an NFL-style catch, both feet in bounds, and that was a beautiful throw and catch just where the Elk Grove defense couldn't reach it. We've got a tie ball game.
That was number 1, O'Shea Washington, just dragging his toes. All of the NFL, dragged both feet through the end zone. He'll be signing big contracts soon.
I think we can look forward to the rest of his career for sure. That's the kind of film that is going to be sent around the country to colleges, various places.
Another outstanding throw by Greenlee. Put it right where it needed to be.
So at 20-20, here comes the extra point. It's up, and it is good enough. So that is going to be 21-20. Lincoln able to take the lead back. This is the first time they've had the lead since 7-0 in the first quarter.
That was a good, solid drive by the Lincoln Trojans. They just meticulously drove down the field.
And going for it on 4th and 10, especially with the throw, because although they have had success in their passing offense, really the running game has been their story thus far, but they say it's good for their coaching staff to be able to put the faith in Greenlee's arm, and he hit his receiver right on target. Yes, thank you, Osha Washington, who's also having one great game.
That's putting a lot of confidence in he's the number 1 quarterback around this area, so that's a lot of confidence. Now you see why they put that confidence into him.
Greenlee at 6'2", 185. He's got the height to see over that offensive line, which is not always what you come across in high school football. But he's able to put his assets to his own success. As with 52 seconds on the clock now, we have another kickoff. The kick is up from the 40, and it's going to go back to Wadis Parker. He takes at the 15, and he's going around the corner, cuts back now past the 20, and he's still moving, 25, 27-yard line. So with 44.3 on the clock, here comes Elk Grove's offense trying to turn something into this end of this first half.
That was a nice run by Wadis Parker. He was, again, the tackling is a little bit shifty early in the season. They're just bouncing off him. He's a big, strong kid, so they're not going to be able to tackle him going up on his shoulder pads. They got to get low on his legs, and he just runs right on through.
So Guy Hall under center. And he rolls out with a throw option, but he tucks to run, and he goes past the 35 and runs into, I'd say, about 7 men on the Lincoln sideline.
Number 44, Cyrus Boone, pushed him out of bounds. That was just a bootleg. They pulled the guard to lead him up the field, give him a little bit of protection out there.
Now Robert Frazier seems to be having trouble with his right leg as he trots to the Elk Grove sideline. Medical staff meeting him halfway. Seems to be okay, but he seems to possibly be cramping up.
Little early season calf cramp.
So a weapon for Elk Grove sideline for the moment being, 39.1 on the clock. Elk Grove able to get out of bounds with Guy Hall's run. 2nd and 2, clock stopped. Elk Grove's down by 1, trying to be up by 2 or 5. We'll see what they turn this into. And with some misdirection from over here, and Guy Hall is brought down at his own 25, at his own 25-yard line.
Number 80, Donald Rucker, got excellent penetration on that play. They were trying that same bootleg to the outside. The guard just didn't get out of the hole, got tangled up on the line, and left a hole for Parker to come through and make the big play. Big loss.
Yeah, Andrew Massey as well being credited for that sack. So an all-around group effort from the Lincoln High defense. It's now 3rd and 12, 4 seconds running, and a timeout is called as expected. Elk Grove now with 2 seconds flat on the clock, possibly one big play here as they're only down by 1. No time for a field goal. And it looks like they want to run one more play before the half.
That would be a big field goal.
Yeah. You aren't going to find a kicker who's going to even want to try that. Become a YouTube legend.
Kevin Singh made a 51-yarder. Elk Grove's kicker made a 51-yarder last season. So he's their secret weapon in close games like this. If it stays close to the end and they get within that 51-yard range, they can sneak him out there and make that field goal attempt.
So that'll be something to watch for, especially as with the score as close as it is and has been. But Elk Grove decides to pass on the, let's see, the 91-yard field goal.
They may just kneel on this one, just go into halftime down by 1.
And that is not the case, so it's actually going to be a run up the middle. And this is a big run. This can actually go to the house. Past the 50, almost to the 40. A beautiful run and maybe at least a confidence booster coming in. That comes from Wadis Parker again, having a phenomenal start to the game, but that's going to end the half.
Touchdown saving tackle by Cyrus Boone, number 44. I stand corrected. They ran the counter, got another 25, 30 yards on that play.
Perhaps even the Lincoln defense sleeping a bit as they expected the exact same result. But that is, as I mentioned, halftime. So 21-20 for the Trojans, holding on to the smallest lead that they could hold on to as the clock starts ticking for the second half. So again, we are broadcasting for PlayOn Sports here. Greg Cottle alongside Marcus Zamzow.
This turned into more of a defensive game. I've said it a couple times tonight. This is usually a really high-scoring game. The Elk Grove defense is getting really good penetration. The Lincoln Trojans are really they're tackling a little bit high, but they're just staying consistent. They're bending a little bit, but they're not breaking.
It really seems like two playoff caliber teams going head-to-head here.
Yeah, the coaches didn't schedule any cupcakes this year. They have tough schedules all the way through. There's no easy games for either of these teams all year.
So we have the halftime logo up, as you can see, 20-21, as the cheerleaders gracefully meet at the middle of the field. So we're actually going to step aside here for halftime. So we'll be back in just a moment with more exciting football here from Stockton, California. This is PlayOnSports.com, your leader in high school sports.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from Dion.
He took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just
holy cow!
Can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball.
12 seconds to go. Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons win. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take, and there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac-Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot, kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stag.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch, but Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2 games to none.
But this is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah. And you also, you get it to your hottest player right now, just like they're getting it to Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free of a player. Eichhorst on his own, shoots and scores, bounces a shot home. Kuz can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game. And, well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hancock on a counter right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Helix. And behind Hancock, the field is littered with white jerseys on the turf.
Wow. Hancock not to be outdone by his fellow playmakers on offense. Put on a show on that short 12-yard touchdown run. Looked like he was down after 3 yards, just threw a defender on the ground.
As sophomore Chris Carter sits under center. In their tight wing formation, Lycos in motion. Second back through is Freeman. Freeman just knocking people over. Look at him run, breaks through, 4 tackles, and now it's just a foot race to the end zone. And Freeman's going to go the distance. Touchdown Imperial on the first play of the second half. 2nd and 6 for Imperial from their own 47. They're going to give it to Freeman again off the left side. And Freeman gets by one wave and down across the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. Look at him run down to the 20-yard line. One man to beat. Gets by him. Touchdown, Freeman. How did he do that? Holy cow. 64-yard touchdown run. His 5th of the game. Royce Freeman, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see the top rushing, and as I look over to our partners at KXO Radio, the top rusher in the San Diego section for the next 2 years.
That's just amazing. That is just amazing. They hit him in the backfield. They hit him at the line of scrimmage. They hit him a couple yards downfield. They hit him again near the goal line.
Keep those Lowell fans quiet over there.
Lum sets it up for Pang. Long, it's out. Low, a magnificent 7 titles in the San Francisco section in dramatic style as they pull out a fantastic victory over a spirited Galileo Lions team. They win the 4th game, 31-29, and they take the 2012 Academic Athletic Association San Francisco section title.
Officials say no 5-second count can be started. Nobody was close enough defensively. Lyle's going to swing left side, Robinson. Here is a backdoor lob for Grant. They've been wanting that all game. And they got it, 50-42. They lulled you to sleep, and then they hit Grant on the back door.
They trail by 2. McMorrow's kick is on the way, and it is Good! St. Augustine has their first lead of the game, 21-20 with 25 seconds to play. The senior McMorrow with a huge kick, not the longest of his career, but the biggest of his career. St. Augustine leads it 21 to
already lining up. They won't even have to run that one more play. They just acquiesce.
Why
Here you
bother?
go. So there you have it. Your 5-time defending Division III champions, the Cathedral Catholic Dons, running up over and through Olympian 41-0 here from Qualcomm Stadium.
Patriots down 21-17. Great ball game here. Dillon taking it, looking right, throwing it up top to Gaines. It will be caught by Gaines. Oh my goodness. It looked like the defender had it, but Gaines stole it away from him. Jason Gaines, are you kidding me, my friend? Oh boy. It looked like for sure we had an interception by the Tories, but as they both were going to the ground, Jason Gaines just wrestled it away from him. Shane Dillon to Jason Gaines on an 11-yard play.
Fanchen in the game, now out, replaced by Hayashi, the libero for defense. Wenzel serve, championship point, ball up in the air. Hayashi's going to bring it back. Richards, deep one, over and 3. Free opportunity, look for Wallace, no, they go Becker. Hayashi, then tap over and 2 by Hollingsworth. Now look for Wallace for the match!
Kathleen Wallace, no better way for the Bulls to finish it than giving it to their senior leader.
25-12, 25-15, and with 8 straight points to close out their 3rd straight D5 championship on a kill by Kathleen Wallace, 25-21 in Game 3. Branson has won the D5 title.
To the backfield, it's Hernandez and Northcutt. Set to throw is Thomas, has time, goes for the home run. It's intercepted in the end zone. Seemed like they tried to go to Martin, and Martin slipped. Stockton, Hilmar, and Escalon. That's going to do it, folks. Victory formation, take a kneel. The clock.
And welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show, coming to you from Stockton, California. We are here in the Spanos Stadium here, pardon for the Lincoln Trojans going up against the Elk Grove Thundering Herd. The Trojans currently with the lead, 21-20, over the visiting Elk Grove, as Elk Grove takes the field once again, just for some warm-ups with about 3:15 to go into halftime. After halftime, it seems like there were a lot of highlights with so much scoring and so much defense. What did you notice, Marcus, about the first half?
It seems that both teams are sticking with their offensive game plan in spite of some of the great defensive plays that have been happening during the game. Greenlee has 2 touchdown passes with Justin Davis with 111 yards.
Feels like it.
And a touchdown. His longest run was from 47 yards. Elk Grove has been extremely run-oriented with only 1 pass attempt. It seems like they're spreading the carries between their 2 workhorses, Parker and Frazier. They combined for 114 yards. So it's, Justin Davis is doing the work of 2 people right now with 111 yards, while Parker and Frazier have 114.
So it's definitely a battle of 2 run-style offenses, except Lincoln also using Greenlee to get 2 touchdowns, especially 2 big touchdowns, particularly the one that came at the end of the first half with a 4th and 10 attempt from the 10 yards just away from the goal line, and a sideline catch that still people are debating on if it was a catch or not, but it was ruled one, and the athleticism though is what's undeniable.
Excellent catch by Washington.
Yes, it was.
Mr. Washington dragged both toes coming out of the outside of the end zone. Greenlee put it exactly where it needed to be. It was a fantastic throw, fantastic catch.
So that's actually going to do it for a quick halftime show. We'll be back in just
1 minute.
So stay right here on PlayOnSports.com, which is your destination for high school sports.
1 match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from
He
Dion.
took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just
Holy cow!
can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball.
12 seconds to go.
Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons wins. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take. And there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac-Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot. Kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stag.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch, but Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2-0.
This is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah. And you also, you get it to your hottest player right now, just like they're getting into Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free of a player. Eichhorst on his own, shoots and scores, bounces a shot home. Coos can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game. And, well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Helix.
And welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com broadcast here at the G.A. Spanos Stadium here in Stockton, California. I'm Greg Cotta, and still alongside Marcus Zamzow. It's 20-21 here as the Trojans of Lincoln High are leading the Elk Grove Thundering Herd as we kick off here in the second half. And the kick is going back to Wadis Parker. Again, turning his legs and able to get up to about the 25. 11:53 on the clock, and here comes Elk Grove's offense.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, call playonsports.com/SBP.
So more run offense coming here from Elk Grove. As Hall's under center. Hands back to the right again, and almost from here able to see almost a loose ball as that went to Robert Frazier, the other back for Elk Grove, who, as we mentioned during the halftime show, has just been trading back and forth.
Jordan McMiller on the tackle, came from his outside linebacker position, got a little bit of penetration, avoided the lead blocker and the pulling guard, got low on Frazier, made a nice little tackle, first stop, two-yard gain.
So it is 2nd and 6, according to the scoreboard. I almost read it as it's listed, which says 2nd and 56, but that error will be fixed up in just a moment.
My mistake, that was Parker on the carry.
And some evasive movement, and but a short throw coming from Guy Hall. Seems to be kicking up his high knees, trying to loosen up those legs. He was able to get away from the blitz, but he couldn't quite make the throw to hit the target.
Yeah, they tried to play action pass there with Wadis Parker in the trying to get to the flat. They had, again, like you said, a lot of penetration. He was able to escape. They had good penetration, good coverage, good defense by the Trojans.
So the Trojans are able to really hold this Elk Grove offense at almost a standstill as it's 3rd and 8. Linemen are down. The handoff comes back to Wadis Parker, but once again stopped short. So Lincoln coming out in full force here in the beginning of the 3rd quarter. That's going to make it about 4th and 6.
Curtis Young Gaines came in on the tackle with a host of other Trojans. That was a great way to start the second half for the Lincoln Trojans. So a lot of penetration, a lot of action coming from that defense, trying to knock off the rhythm of that wing T offense from the Thundering Herd.
So Osha Washington back to receive the kick, stands on his own 35, and the punt is up. And it takes a crooked bounce over past the other hash mark. Rolls out of bounds at around the 35 or 36 yard line. So that's going to be where Lincoln High gets the ball. And again, here comes Greenlee and Davis. See what they can do with this offense, which has been overall productive for the entire first half.
Let's see how the Elk Grove defense reacts to their offense getting basically shut down on the first series of the second half. See if they can respond to the action from the Lincoln offense.
So power formation here. And whistle blowing the ball dead before anything can really get going. As the referees go to discuss around the center of the field. And it is actually going to move forward, so offsides is going to be called on the defense.
That's another early season mistake by the Elk Grove defense. That happened earlier in the game. I think they're just lining up with their heads past the ball. They need to look down. The defensive linemen, when they get in their stance, have a tendency to put their head past the ball. They line up offsides.
Sounds like the kind of mistake that might give a defensive line coach a couple migraines, but again, early in the season, fresh minds and fresh legs able to take this kind of stuff. So as the handoff goes back to Davis, and he breaks loose again, moving to his own 46, maybe 47-yard line.
That's a same play they ran towards the middle part of the second quarter. Lead by the two fullback position and just follow right behind the blockers by the tailback. Got Elk Grove back on their heels a little bit.
So with the slight lead, Lincoln also showing just a slight edge in the momentum game. as they are able to call Elk Grove offsides one more time, get him to go. That hard snap, it really seems, I mean, sign this quarterback up for acting classes because he has been selling this hard count over and over again, and now it's going to be 1st and 5.
That's one of the times when pinning your ears back and just going for it can work against you. If you don't time that snap count just right, you can have a tendency to jump off sides.
So there is a quick handoff, and we haven't seen that in a long time, but Davis getting shut down as he did in the beginning of the game. As we learned at halftime, his first 7 rushes totaled for -1 yard, but after that, the next 7 or 8 totaled for over 100.
That was awesome pressure by Bawan Canada. Came in, the 2 guards from Lincoln pulled, and he snuck in behind the backside guard and made a huge play for a loss. Put him back at the, for the 10 yards for the first down. 5-yard loss.
So, gain 5 yards on a penalty, but then lose it on the next down. Here we are at 2nd and 10. 8:37 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. The snap goes back, and it looks like a throw. And it is a booming throw at that, and that is thrown on and caught at the 10-yard line.
Incomplete.
Oh, they are calling that incomplete. He held onto it, but maybe the ball hit the ground. A beautiful throw from Greenlee coming. I've seen an accurate arm, I've seen a fast arm, but I didn't know he had that much power behind it.
That was about a 50-yard in the air pass. He had great protection on that play, had lots of time, just got it out a little bit too far for number 8, Nigel Vega. It looked like he was going to make that catch, but the ground caused the fumble. Couldn't hold on to it when he hit the ground.
So Nigel Vega tending to be a favorite target here for Greenlee.
Sold his body out, but just barely couldn't hold on to that ball.
So 3rd and 10 with a short shotgun formation. 3 wideouts. Greenlee steps back, scrambles over to our side of the field, and throws on the run, and he is almost gets to his target. He hits him in the hands, but Vega is not able to hold on to it. Again, going back to Vega. Vega with the drop there, and it was a crucial drop, but Marcus, he's getting open.
Yeah, he had pretty good protection that time. Number 12, Latuli Gasanoa, had really good pressure from the backside. Greenlee used his speed to just get just a couple steps on Latuli Gasanoa and was able to get that pass off, but again, just a little bit too much pepper on that pass, and Vega could not hold on to it.
So 4th and 10 on their own 47. Lincoln appears to be going for it. However, they did try a quick punt earlier. This time, Elk Grove a little more ready for it. That is intercepted by number 6 of Elk Grove. That is Spencer Schiff, who runs past the 30, 25, pulled down by the horse collar at the 25. That might be another penalty tagged on to that.
They're going to add at least 10 for the horse collar tackle on that one. That was an outstanding drop into the hook curl zone by Spencer Schiff, number 6. Nice grab and run. Got an extra probably 25 or 30 yards on that. That's much better for the Elk Grove team that they didn't punt on that one.
So a rare mistake coming from Greenlee. And so that horse collar call is going to bring them to their opponent's 15. Again, great field position for Elk Grove, and I think it's safe to say that's what's been keeping them in this game. With 2 previous scoring drives, and now this one starting in their own, or starting in enemy territory. Hall under center. And a little bit of trickery, pulling my eyes away from the ball.
They run it counter down there. Backside looked like the wing back and maybe the tight end pulled. The motion goes to the play side, and then they bring it back around, throws off. That's that traditional wing tee action that they have in the backfield.
So 1 person carrying the ball and 2-3 others pretending to carry the ball. Tricks defenses and tricks us up here even. So 7:37 on the clock. 21-20, Trojans lead. And the run is going to go off to the left. Jukes once, jukes twice, and he is just short of the end zone.
That was just a trap play. The backside guard pulled, led him right up the field. That was number 53, Noah McMahon, leading him up the field there for almost a touchdown.
So Wadis Parker on the run there, just short. So now again in the backfield is Parker and Frazier behind Guy Hall. Tight formation. And Hall is going to try to push it in himself, and he does. So Elk Grove taking the lead back. We have another lead change. It's 26-21 here in the third quarter, 7:02 on the clock, and that was just smash mouth football.
The Elk Grove offense got off just a little bit faster than the Lincoln defense and got just enough push on those big bodies to let Guy Hall get that yard. Used his tall body to get across the line.
So with the 5-point lead, it appears that Elk Grove is considering going for 2, as is the discussion up here in the booth.
The head coaches have a card that lets them know which to go for, 1 or 2 during each situation in the game. They have a big list of when to do it and when not to do it. This could be a good time. Get the big, make it a 2 score difference in the game.
Exactly. So be able to make it 27 would be nice, but that would leave them in the same problem they were in before, and that an extra point could be the difference maker in a game. But this 2-point opportunity could really change things, which is why Elk Grove has just called their first time out of the half. Probably to discuss this over to make sure, their short game has been kind of inconsistent, and I think that says more about Lincoln's defense in that sometimes they can push it 2 to 7 yards, and sometimes they get pushed back 2 to 4.
Lincoln's defense outsizes the Elk Grove offense by a pretty good margin. Elk Grove's speed when they're pulling is been a big advantage for them. We'll see if they use their shiftiness to get in for those extra 2 points.
So here comes Elk Grove High. Now it appears almost everybody is down on the line, with the exception of number 25, Elijah Jones, out on the outside, bringing one corner over. Back, though, is Spencer Sheff, who had the interception, and number 33 under center, who is Mikey Wright, who is a tight end linebacker, and that is a heads-up play for Elk Grove, able to smash it in without any problems. That's going to be 28-21, Elk Grove's lead.
Again, Wadis Parker with the touchdown. Just straight up, just see who can push each other off the ball. Went straight up the middle. Wadis Parker dropped his shoulder and got that easy 3 yards. Got a little creative using the tight end as the quarterback. I think Guy Hall got a little banged up on that touchdown run back the earlier for that touchdown. I think
so
he got a little bit banged up.
for the first touchdown, just a little bit banged up, and then, who knows? For a 2-yard play, you can just kind of grab your tight end by the face mask and tell him, hey, hand it to your left, go. And maybe it worked. It's hard to see what's written from up here, but what matters is points, and it is 28-21. 7:02 on the clock still as the kickoff unit comes out. This time back to return the kick for Lincoln is actually Chris Valeros as well as Deshaun Campbell. So the kick is up. Booted over back to Campbell. Campbell catching it. Oh, bounces off of his face mask while he's in the end zone, though. So lucky for him, that is going to be a touchback as the ball was kicked just deep enough. So Lincoln once again starting on their own 20.
That was a great kick by Kevin Singh. Justin Singh, sorry. got up in that little delta breeze that we've been talking about. He had the wind behind him, got all the way to the goal line. The Lincoln Trojan wasn't able to hang on to that ball. It went over his head.
But Justin Cena, as we mentioned, quite the leg. So the wind did help, as we mentioned, the wind coming from the left of your TV screen, coming over to the right. It's really picking up over here. Now Lincoln going to have to go against the wind as they set up in a shotgun formation. Greenlee back, looking over the middle, and he hits his target. 30, 40, 45, and just short of the 50-yard line.
Stephon Robinson on that catch. That was just, again, good protection for Greenlee. He found that open receiver coming across the middle.
So Greenlee able to take a step back and make his reads to see, his head tick kind of like a sprinkler from left to right, and he found his target. And so that's going to be a first down for the Trojans. Robinson now running off the field, and flags are flying. So a delay of game, it appears, is what's going to be called against Lincoln.
A little miscommunication from the sideline, trying to get guys in and get guys out.
So a 5-yard tax on the end of that big play, now going to be on their 41. 6:27 on the clock. Greenlee taking a little bit more time as he runs over the sidelines to meet with the coach, but he heads back to his huddle. He's got the play, and it's 1st and 15. And a bumbled snap goes down, and Greenlee able to get on top of it. It seemed that it hit him down in the shin, a little bit below his hands. So that's actually going to count as a sack.
As the night goes on, the ball gets a little bit more slippery. There's a little bit of a dew in the air. Looked like the center just lost his grip as it was going back. That's where the shotgun snap is a little bit dangerous. You got to get it right back to his numbers.
So 2nd and 21 here for Lincoln. This time the snap is clean and it is thrown out, but the pass is going to be just past his receiver. The intended receiver was Ravon Alexander, number 4. But holding is also going to be called on Lincoln, so we're coming back again.
Buwan Canada and Noah Latui Gasanoa, sorry, had really good penetration on that. I think they were the ones that caused the holding. They put real good penetration on Greenlee, made him get rid of that ball a little bit faster than he wanted to.
So Noah Latuli Gasanoa, the name that we spent most of our time practicing just before this broadcast. More strong defense coming from him. And so Elk Grove is going to take the penalty. So 28-21 their lead, and they're going to push the ball back even further, once again creating potential for that good field position that they've had all day. So they're now on the 22, and it is 2nd and 34. Definitely a passing situation here, but with the legs of Davis, we'll see what Lincoln decides to do. Greenlee looks right. And a screen pass over to Davis, but although Lincoln was solid blocking, that screen does not go anywhere, actually. It continues at the 22. Elk Grove seemed to have their eyes on Davis.
Number 6, Spencer Sheff, sniffed that one out really well. There was 2 guys in on that play. They just saw that little screen coming and closed in on it really, really quick. He didn't have anywhere to go.
So 3rd down and 34. You know, we start using the term 3rd and long at around 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13, but this brings a whole new meaning to it. Let's see what Lincoln can whip up. And they go with the run play, and it is a dangerous one, but Davis is able to get a few yards, but before he can turn his corner, Elk Grove puts their nose on the ball, and that's going to be a long 4th down.
Again, Wadis Parker, Elk Grove defense is getting a lot of pressure. That's kind of a risky play. I'm surprised the coach didn't have confidence to go in Greenlee for a big pass. They've been using him all night and having a lot of confidence in him on those big plays. Now they're going for the first time for a punt. I think this is the first time they punted all night.
Definitely. I mean,
kind of have no choice with 4th and 33.
So with 4th and 33, back to return for Elk Grove, and it is another bad snap. But with another rugby move, we're going to get a short punt that's going to fall, give Elk Grove their field position once again. Now it's on the 38.
Now I remember they punted in the first half. And
Definitely.
Same result, bad snap. The long snap is a lost art. It takes a lot of practice. This early in the season, special teams is often neglected. There's not a lot of time. You're trying to get your offense and your defense in. Sometimes special teams goes a little bit neglected, and you're starting to see that a little bit, especially this early in the season with the muffed snaps.
I could definitely imagine that. I remember back in my high school days, nobody tried out for the kicker spot. So our head coach went and, as it's first down, 20, going to go to number 21, Wadis Parker with a few yards. Over to the left looks like maybe a loss of a few. But anyway, not having a kicker, he just lined up the men's soccer team, told him to boot it, and whichever leg you liked best, showed up for games, didn't even practice. And let me tell you, it didn't work. Yeah. So
that was great penetration by the Trojan defense. A host of Trojans on that tackle.
So 2nd and 12 with 3:20 to go in the third quarter. So for those of you just tuning in, this is the PlayOnSports.com broadcast as a whistle is blown for a timeout, it appears, for Elk Grove. So it appears to be a slight collapse over on the Elk Grove sideline. It's got cramps is the assumption from up here in the booth. And reminding the rest of the Elk Grove players to stretch themselves. So as I was saying, this is PlayOnSports.com's YouTube broadcast of the Lincoln High football game as they host the Thundering Herd of Elk Grove. I'm Greg Cotta alongside Marcus Zamzow. Tim Knight and Will McCombs, early shout out to them for doing the production and filming, respectively. Or pardon, vice versa. Tim Knight doing the filming. Will McCombs, of course, next to us on production. I'd like to thank them for all of their help, because without them, we do not end up on the air. Here comes the snap, and it is a short one and a quick one. That's coming around the corner, 40, 35, 25. And so it looks like this might be coming back because of a holding penalty. Yellow flags flying everywhere.
That was a great run by number 4, Robert Frazier. They pulled the guard again, got up, had a real nice room. Just the receiver got his hand out on the corner, got a little holding penalty. Those wide open field blocks like that are really hard to sustain for that long. Your running back can set you up with that, or they can make it worse. He kind of shifted, and the blocker didn't see which way he was going, didn't feel which way he was going, ended up getting a big penalty on the hold.
So with 2nd and 21, 2:23 on the clock, Guy Hall coming back out under center in the same formation that we've seen all game. Lincoln showing blitz. And here comes the run, and they is stuffed at the 50-yard line. Big gang tackle coming in from Lincoln and stops him dead in his tracks.
The linebackers got good penetration on that. They pulled their guards, and the linebackers read it really well. Number 3, Young Gaines in there again. He's been sniffing out that guard movement all night and just attacking. When they pull to the side, he attacks where they were, and he's able to get that good penetration and get in on those running backs before they can make the turn.
So Cyrus Boone also in on the tackle. The run, of course, coming from Robert Frazier. Frazier and Parker again in the backfield, but this looks like either a misdirection or a throw, and it is a quick throw coming to number 33, Mikey Wright. Mikey Wright is able to get up to what appears to be
31-yard line?
Yes, the 31-yard line.
Good play action pass from the Thundering Herd. Got a little misdirection, just enough space. They had a lot of penetration and a lot of pressure on Guy Hall, but he was able to maintain and get that pass off to number 33.
Elk Grove in the white with the gold helmets, with the lead and the ball, for those of you just tuning in.
Timeout, Elk Grove.
So Elk Grove using their second timeout already of the half. We'll see if that affects them later. Minute and 17 left to go. It's 4th and 4 on their on the opponent's 32. It appears that their coaching staff likes to take timeouts whenever they see fit. No need to save them at this point, apparently, because a 4th and 4 with, as you mentioned, a very powerful kicker. This could be a time that needs discussion.
They could be talking about either making a nice high punt and trying to pin him down inside the 10, or, like you said, going with the big leg of Justin Singh. And sorry for the hesitation. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 4.
So here comes the huddle.
They have some big workhorse running backs. See if they can get this 4th down.
So again, with one receiver out, again, that is Mikey Wright, but everyone else down on the line. Here comes a power run up 30, up to the 26, 27-yard line. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to give it to him. So that is a 1st down conversion, or a 4th down conversion for the first. Again, coming from Robert Frazier, who seems to have quick cuts in the middle that he was able to just outmaneuver the entire Lincoln defense.
That was a quick hitting lead by Elk Grove. They pulled the play side guard, pulled him up, led with the running back. Good quick hitting play for that easy 5 yards. Well, tough 5 yards.
But definitely making it look easy.
Looks easy from up here.
So here's Wadis Parker coming up the middle, and he's able to juke some more, and he gets to the outside 10, 5, touchdown again for Elk Grove. He is able to weave in and out of the linebackers and safeties. What a beautiful run. Phenomenal footwork, and the now score with 4:39 on the clock, 34-21.
That was the same play in the other direction. They ran that lead, pull the guard, and Phil with that running back, he followed through nice and tight to his lead blocker, made a couple good jukes like you were saying, used his speed to make that big touchdown.
So here comes the kicking unit.
Get a little bit more of a comfortable lead on this tough Lincoln Trojan team.
So the kick is up, and it is good. So 35-21 with 43.9 on the clock, or sorry, 4:39 on the clock.
It's 43.9.
It is 43.9, thank you.
Third quarter.
In the third quarter.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Valeros and Campbell back for Lincoln, standing at their own 5 to return this kick. Again, 43.9 on the clock.
Let's see if Justin Singh can get another one out back to the end zone over there.
As that has been the case so far. And with 35-21, as you can imagine, for those of you just tuning in, there have been a lot of kickoffs in this game. And that goes deep, lands just on the S of the word Trojans, and the Trojans are going to get it at their own 20.
Another booming kick by Singh. The field position has been in Elk Grove's advantage most of the night. It's really making the Lincoln Trojans work hard for everything that they're getting. They've got those 21 points, but they haven't scored in this second half. We'll see if Greenlee can get them rolling again during the second half. See if they can get a fourth quarter run here. Tighten up this score.
Lincoln's offense proven to be quite explosive thus far in the game, coming up in some very clutch moments. Greenlee with a pair of touchdowns, Davis with the third. And speaking of Davis, he is going to try to cut to the outside, but he is brought down by number 52 for Elk Grove High.
Casey Whalen. Again, they're getting the defensive line is getting a lot of penetration for Elk Grove. They went back to that just straight lead, trying to lead with their two big backs and let Davis.
Davis indeed.
Davis followed through the hole.
Our eyes are straining up here as we start to squint at numbers. Not 8 seconds ticking down in the end of toward the end of the third quarter. But a bumbled snap is going to make Greenlee pull it out himself, and he throws downfield, hits the turf, and that's going to end the third quarter.
Dangerous little play to end the third quarter. Again, as the night goes on, you see people stretching out there. They're starting to cramp up. There's a little bit of mist in the air. Seems like Lincoln High School's center has to get a little old school stickum on his fingers. The ball's starting to slip out of his hand a little bit. I think fatigue, going against that fast-paced Elk Grove defense is kind of wearing him out a little bit. He's, one of those big bodies. See how that conditioning comes in. Couple bumbled snaps, like you were saying, for the Lincoln offense and their special teams that could bite them during this fourth quarter.
So, as the pep band's picking up and cheering section and cheerleaders for Lincoln, this home crowd advantage doing everything that they can to keep their team in it. And with the score, Lincoln being down by 14, some teams at various levels of football, they can't really have the energy to turn this around, but I think that the explosiveness of their offense has shown that this game could easily be tied up, or even Lincoln coming back with the lead. It's going to be a tough fight, but I think that both of these teams are showing that they know that they can win this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a test of the Lincoln Trojans' senior leadership. With Greenlee and Davis as their two leading guys, this is going to be a test for them. This is their first big game of the year. It's going to be like this all year. There's going to be tough opponents for them the whole time. This is their first big test. We're going to see how they respond to it in the fourth quarter. Greenlee's been really, really cool under pressure so far tonight. He's just been under a lot of pressure.
So Greenlee doing what he can, showing both legs and arm from the backfield, or pardon, from the pocket. Roll out and throw on the run, but those of you listening out there, you can't know yet. I'm a rather small guy, so I can never really tell an offensive lineman what to do because I really don't know too much. But, it's got to be hard to block for somebody when you don't know where they are. But he's done a good job of holding in the pocket and scrambling when he should. And the throw goes up, and it is actually incomplete, just outside of reach for Vega.
Number 3, Chenard. I can't even read it in the dark. Chenard Hartz on the coverage out there. Looked like they got a little bit tangled up in the during that play. Could have gone for a pass interference, but they called it as like a non-catchable ball.
So again, a good break for the Elk Grove defense.
Greenlee again just under massive amounts of pressure. He got that off as he was being hit. Kind of flowed that ball out there. See how this snap goes back.
A much better snap, but this time the punt is going to go kind of like a duck falling out of the air here. It drops at the 39-yard line. So Elk Grove again with the field position. Of all the battles in this game, it appears that the field position one is the only one that Elk Grove has been truly dominant in.
Yeah, and they're winning the field position battle the whole time. They're really taking advantage of it in the late in the first half and early in this second half of the game. See if they can take advantage of it again.
11:49 to go in the fourth quarter. Elk Grove up 35-21.
The Lincoln defense needs to get the ball back for Greenlee so he can do his magic. See what they can do.
So it initially looked like a handoff for number 4, Robert Frazier, but the misdirection actually had the ball end up in Wadis Parker's hands.
Yeah, a little counter reverse action there. Like I was saying, the Lincoln defense really sniffed that one out. They got a little bit of penetration and stayed home really well on that one. stopped him for either a no gain or just a little bit of a loss. Good penetration by the Lincoln defense.
So it's now 2nd and 10, 11:14 on the clock. And with a misdirection and then opts to take it himself, Guy Hall.
So going back to that lead play again, they pull the play side guard and lead with that the back to the play side. The quarterback takes a step for that misdirection and then just a straight lead to the outside over there. It's been relatively successful all night. So you can see everybody stretching. It's early in the season. You got to make sure you're hydrating. These guys are probably drinking Pepsi and eating pizza for lunch today. They're going to learn a lesson. The coach is going to talk to them about all this stretching and cramping up.
Definitely cramping up, especially coming as there are I'd say there are currently 5 Elk Grove players stretching on the sidelines. Or probably not on the sidelines, out in the middle of the field.
It's a mash unit out there. Also, one of number 44 from the Lincoln Trojans, Cyrus Boone's also feeling the effects of the early season.
So the first one I saw go down was Noah Latulagasa Noah. And then it seemed like the trend started as everybody just started stretching out those quads and those thighs. We'll see. This is a time where players need to be careful because you don't want to end your season on the first game. Pull something, pop something. And so it appears, the responsible decisions are being made on both parts. But as you said, perhaps these kids are going to be changing their diet a bit, making sure that they can go into these tough fourth quarters.
He's just got to get to the sideline and get some hydration, start stretching a little bit. Problem with one cramp, it's usually followed by another once you get back out on the field. So he's just got to be careful about that.
And so a handoff is going to go up the middle. Again, to Frazier.
They went to that crossbuck again. They pulled both guards. Lincoln defense had a little bit of penetration, but Frazier, with a nice strong run, dipped his shoulder and got almost to the first down.
Curtis Young gains on the tackle there. So 4th and 1, Elk Grove is going for it. There seems to be no hesitation. They're already coming up to the line. With a 14-point lead and 10 minutes to go in the game, this could be a very crucial conversion opportunity. Line's down, and they push forward, and they've got it. So with that,
Guy Hall with the keeper for that 1 yard gain. They just straight smash mouth football again. They did that on the for a short touchdown on the goal line. He's again using that tall body. He's got a big guard over there that he can sneak up behind. Number 52, Casey Whalen. He's one of the returning guys. Pretty big body, quick off the ball. Just got enough off the ball to give him enough space to get that good first down.
So Elk Grove controlling the clock here as it just ticks past 10 minutes. Making sure that they're, stretch a little extra, tie their shoes a little more before they move to the line of scrimmage as they try to slow this game down in the 4th. Guy Hall under center. So it's going to be a carry up the middle, almost a counter movement to the opposite side.
Robert Frazier. Another, the Elk Grove is using their line. They're pulling their line a lot, so they don't ever have to go one-on-one with those big Lincoln Trojans. The Lincoln Trojans have that, 280 pounds across their defensive line. The Elk Grove offense doesn't have anybody even close to that. Biggest guy's 240.
So clear size disadvantage for Elk Grove, and if the numbers definitely help, but it can definitely be seen by this massive Lincoln defense. And up the middle again, for Robert Frazier, who has been just a workhorse all day.
Great penetration by Joseph Coria. They got good penetration on that one, got in behind those pulling guards again. That's one of the tricks for stopping the wing T. When the guards pull, you just fill in where they came from. And they've been doing a pretty good job of that all night. Stopped them for 1 or 2 yard gain, short gain.
So now coming out in an I formation, with Chef in the backfield, but it's going to be a rollout throw, and it is slung on over to Parker. Parker's able to get pushed out at just the 15-yard line, so that is going to be enough for the first down. 8:13 to go on the clock as it stops.
That was a great bootleg by Guy Hall. That's only the second or third pass of the day, but they're making really good, really good progress with their few passes that they've had. He's got a really good arm. He's a lefty, so he rolled out to the left side on that one and found Parker.
So Parker with the completion, able to make it 1st and 10 from the 15. So here comes Elk Grove under center again, using the clock as they burn off another 2 minutes, and they're able to go to Parker up the middle, breaks one, breaks two, down at the 10-yard line. Now, we just discussed how this Elk Grove line is undersized compared to the defensive line of Lincoln. However, Lincoln's line looks like they're getting a little bit more tired as they're kind of getting pushed around by these smaller kids.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of angle blocking. Elk Grove's doing a lot of angle blocking, getting on the hip of the big bodies, and using that wing T movement to get that forward progress going. He lost his lead back on that one, but he saw daylight and just shot for it.
So, and caught right in the middle there is
Elijah Jones
Elijah
with the carry
Jones,
on that one.
yes. Listed at 6'1". Big coming up the middle.
The Lincoln defense just got penetration on that one, just blew up that play.
So a big 3rd down here, unless, of course, we come up with a big 4th down, but 3rd and 4 coming from the 9. Lincoln with a rather spread out defense here. But their secondary is playing rather shallow. Let's see if the Thundering Herd once again tries to push this through. So a misdirection running play. It looks like that all went to...
That was fumble.
Oh, there's a fumble called that was just out of my view. So Lincoln with a big recovery here. The recovery coming from Curtis Young Gangs, a name that we've been using frequently during this broadcast, and that could be a momentum changer with 6:42 on the clock.
There was miscommunication with Elk Grove. It looked like Guy Hall was reaching to hand to one of the running backs, and there was no one there. And again, with the dew in the air, the ball's getting a little bit slipped out of his hand, and the Lincoln Trojans were able to recover. See if they can take advantage of getting the ball back.
So they now have the ball on their own 7. 1st and 10, 6:42 to go, but the Trojans have a shot here. Greenlee and Davis once again holding down the backfield. So here comes the snap, and Greenlee is able to go around to the 10, to the 14. So a quick bootleg from the shotgun formation, able to stop the clock as well. And that's going to be a gain of about 7.
The Lincoln Trojans are starting to run out of time a little bit. He took one quick look down the field and saw that his guys were pretty much well covered, so he took that bootleg and got about 6 or 7 yards on that carry and stopped the clock.
So, and there is Greenlee, who is able to break the first tackle, but then he gets eaten up by the rest of the Elk Grove defense.
Buon Canada got awesome initial penetration. I didn't see who cleaned him up. It looked like a couple guys cleaned him up. Somebody's going to get the 1.5 sack or a half sack on that one.
So definitely, it seemed like Greenlee was able to evade most of the problem, but then he looked up and saw 4 face masks coming his way. That's going to make it 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Canada had immediate pressure on that one. Greenlee had nowhere to go. Ended up losing that 4 or 5 yards that he gained on that last play.
So the pep band is picking it up, and here comes Greenlee, standing again in shotgun formation with 4 wideouts. Elk Grove again showing blitz. He's back, he bullets over the middle, and that is a brilliant catch coming at the 30-yard line from number 5, Stephon Robinson. Slow to get up as he was laid out in midair, but is able to hold on He's rocking back and forth as the medical staff runs to him, able to hold on to that ball, but we will see if he is okay.
That was a great catch by Robinson. He went up, sold his body out for that catch. Greenlee's been leading his guys just a little bit too much tonight. He's kind of hanging his guys out there. And Elk Grove's a big, hard-hitting team, so they can, if you hang them up, they can take them down like that. So hopefully he'll be all right.
Teams both on the knees on the sideline. Huddled around by, I'd say, about 4 or 5 of the medical staff. 5:48 on the clock. Again, Lincoln down 21-35. There's also a coach over on the other side of the field, possibly communicating with medical staff in the direction of yes, the medics. So the medics are coming right away, as I'm being informed. So as this appears to be a longer injury timeout, we're actually going to step aside for a quick break. We'll be back with more football in just a moment. You are watching high school football. Lincoln Trojans down 21-35 with the Elk Grove Thundering Herd. This is PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from
He
Dion.
took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just
holy cow!
Can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball. 12 seconds to go.
Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons wins. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take. And there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac-Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot. Kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stags.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch, but Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2-0.
but this is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah, and also, you get it to your hottest player right now, just like they're getting it to Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free for play. Eichhorst on his own. Shoots and scores. Bounces a shot home. Coos can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game, and well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Helix. And behind Hancock, the field is littered with white jerseys on the turf.
Wow. Hancock not to be outdone by his fellow playmakers on offense. Put on a show on that short 12-yard touchdown run. Looked like he was down after 3 yards, just threw a defender on the ground.
As sophomore Chris Carter sits under center in their tight wing formation. Lycos in motion. Second back through is Freeman. Freeman just knocking people over. Look at him run. Breaks through. 4 tackles. And now it's just a foot race to the end zone. And Freeman's going to go the distance. Touchdown Imperial on the first play of the second half. 2nd and 6 for Imperial from their own 47. They're going to give it to Freeman again off the left side. And Freeman gets by one wave and down across the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. Look at him run down to the 20-yard line. One man to beat. Gets by him. Touchdown Freeman. How did he do that? Holy cow. 64-yard touchdown run. His 5th of the game. Royce Freeman, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see the top rushing and the as I look over to.
And we are back, so thank you for staying patient as we have a safe walk off of the field with the medical staff. That is, of course, number 5, Stephon Robinson, who made the grab. Got hit pretty hard. He's now walking over to the ambulance, so we're glad that he's okay, and the play is going to resume. 5:48 on the clock.
Looks like he had a wrist or lower arm injury. It's a big concern when the ambulance crew goes out.
Definitely. So
you always worry about the neck.
Yeah, so the ambulance crew comes out, they do their jobs, he's off the field safely, and we come back from shotgun. And they are going big, they are going deep, and not quite on target, but man, there was power behind that throw. I'd say once again over 50 yards in the air. 2nd and 10.
Greenlee's showing off that big arm. Justin Davis has 0 yards going into the tail end of this game. He's got 0 yards in the second half. Greenlee was 14 for 31 with 205 before that incomplete pass. He's got 2 TDs and 1 interception.
So again, an overall, the numbers-wise, the Lincoln offense looks good, but they've just been held to a halt here in the second half. 4 wideouts. Back, and then a screen pass over to Davis, and he's able to try to juke, but he ends up falling just short of the line of scrimmage, so he's now going to be back at the 29.
When you're getting a lot of penetration like Elk Grove is, those backwards passes are a little bit risky. Looks like he had no gain on that one. Lincoln's starting to be forced to pass because they're trying to come from being down. It's going to put Greenlee to the test.
Definitely, as Davis has proven to be such a deadly weapon. 5:05 to go here in the fourth quarter, 21-35. Elk Grove High School with the lead. The Thundering Herd really doing their name justice, especially with their front 7. And here comes the snap. Greenlee scrambles and avoids the blitz, but he throws an interception, and that is going to be picked up by none other than Robert Frazier, who was doing it on both sides of the ball. A clutch interception, 4:45, and that is a game-changing moment.
More instant penetration from Bawan Canada. He got off the ball so fast that the offensive lineman still had his hand in the ground before he was in Greenlee's face. putting tons of pressure on Greenlee. He's throwing off his back foot, floating it up there, and Elk Grove took advantage.
So Elk Grove now with their slow style offense, a lot of opportunity to burn clock here. However, the Trojans do still have all 3 of their timeouts held onto them wisely. And they come out in an I formation.
Just the basic wing tee.
And with the short, quick handoff coming to Parker, Parker's able to make it up to the 38-yard line.
They pulled Marcus Worthy on that. Big body got out and blocked the end, made it quick 6 yards for the running back.
Adrian Ramos in on the tackle. So it'll be 2nd and 4. .404 on the clock here, 2nd and 4. Elk Grove moving slowly but efficiently. They're able to get to the 35-yard line, and that is going to be an Elk Grove first down. The clock is going to continue to tick. However, now the clock continues to move. Now the chains have. 1st and 10 for Elk Grove.
That's one of the advantages of a run-oriented offense. Once you get the lead, you can burn the clock. And they say the best defense is a good offense. And Elk Grove is taking advantage of that right now, although their defense has been impressive tonight also.
So the Lincoln Trojans kind of finding themselves in a hurry up and wait kind of a situation. As they stand around waiting for Elk Grove to set the ball, and Elk Grove does, again with the quick handoff over to Parker. As a bit of a
little scuffle.
Scuffle, yeah, was the word I was looking for actually over on our side of the field, but it seems like that's been sorted out. Captain's pulling away their players.
Lincoln got off the ball outstanding on that play. Super fast off the ball, got the good penetration again. Seems when they get the penetration, they're stopping the play. They just need to consistently get off the ball as fast as the Elk Grove offense is.
So as we stand around and watch this clock tick down, it passes 3 minutes. We're at 2:45. This game looks like it's starting to wrap up. But anything can happen in these situations. All of us sports fans have out there have seen crazy things, but Elk Grove has been in control of this entire second half. So Robert Frazier actually on the carry again, as I mentioned before, doing it on both sides of the ball. But right now it's, yards are good if they can get them, but their main goal is to slow down the clock.
Yeah,
hurry up the clock.
Let that clock run. Andrew Macy on that last tackle came from the backside and snuck through the line again. Play on Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/playonnetwork. Keep up with all the with all the high school action every week. For your destination on high school sports, playonsports.com.
As Robert Frazier rumbles and bumbles all the way down to the 18-yard line, it seems like he is keeping this drive alive just enough. There's now 1:25 on the clock as the chains move. It stops for just a moment. No timeouts yet coming from Lincoln. We might just see this clock dwindle down over the next few plays.
Elk Grove's just going to play it safe, keep running the ball, good hard runs.
So now, again, with the slow movement and the quick handoff, we're seeing that play over and over again, but this time it's going to Elijah Jones. And he's able to move the ball all the way up to the 10. 50 seconds ticking down on the clock. Elk Grove looks like they're going to start their season off 1-0. The Trojans falling at home out despite good effort. 40 seconds to go on the clock. Now, if you stay tuned for a post-game show, we're going to have an interview with our player of the game, which just through some sign language communication, I believe we've agreed that's going to be Robert Frazier, number 4 of the Elk Grove High School Thundering Herd. So we're going to be able to have a quick chat with him, as well as more analysis coming from both Marcus and I, or pardon, Marcus and myself. As a run comes up the middle, 13 seconds on the clock, and the clock stops at 9.1. However, there's celebration coming from, oh, the clock has now continued, and that's going to do it for the ball game. The coaches are going out to shake hands. Again, we're going to take a quick break. We'd like to thank you for listening. We've got more coming up, so thank you so much. We'll be back in just a moment. 35-21 is the final score. Elk Grove High School, the Thundering Herd, taking on the Trojans of Lincoln High in great fashion. This is PlayOnSports.com, and we will be back in just a moment.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
4th and 10 from the 41-yard line for St. Augustine. Kennedy dropping back to pass. Looking left, firing, incomplete, intended for Noland. No penalty flags on the field. Mar Vista will take over on downs, and Jordan Lertique will take that knee. And the Mar Vista Mariners knock off the number 2 seeded St. Augustine Saints at Mesa College in a dominating performance on both sides of the football for Mar Vista. They trailed 14-0 and came back.
Again, down 2-0, facing adversity. And they've really just turned the table around since game number 3. Set an attack, great block made back inside the Maverick zone. A chance there by Bosback back inside the Maverick zone. Ball attacked there by Bosback. A second opportunity by Bosback. Lift violation call. Winner. It's an over the neck call. Oh my goodness. Bosback reached over on the attack. A Maverick error wraps up the title for the Presentation Panthers. A 15-9 victory in game number 5, and they wrap it up coming back from 2-0 down match-wise and take it 3-2.
36-35 and driving, and oh, baby! Shrigley with a jam, and it was with emphasis. And it's the foul, and listen to these fans.
Do you know who's standing up right behind us? Tony Bland, who is the head recruiter for San Diego State. I think he's drooling. Somebody get that man a napkin.
Quick score on this drive. There goes a handoff to Zeller, trying to go straight ahead, but he is met by Wool. Now he breaks out to the outside, gets across the 30, 35, on the right, 40, midfield. He's running down the sidelines. He's going to go all the way as he's at the 10, 5, touchdown. Patrick Zeller stood up at the line of scrimmage and broke out to his left to the far sidelines, and he was in a foot race, and he went all the way for the touchdown. Broke a tackle and made it nice and showed his speed as he got outside for the touchdown.
Back in the backfield to the left is Campbell. Hernandez takes the snap, play action to Campbell. Looks down the field. Now here comes the pressure. He's going to be hit. He breaks the tackle, rolls left. Now he's going to cut upfield. He's going to break another tackle, and then another tackle down the sideline. Gets a block inside the 5. What a touchdown! Hernandez goes 33 yards in spectacular fashion, breaking 4 tackles along the way, including 2 in the backfield, and Hilltop has tied this one up at 29.
Grant with a big, strong defensive rebound. He brings it back down the floor again, and another slam dunk. Jeremy Grant can run the point, and he can fly. Huge dunk, 2 big dunks in the last
Bullard
minute.
trying to close it out. Deep ball, up in the air, Cram. Bringing it back, Arbizo. Cram over in 3. Free opportunity. Look for Rodabaugh. No. Pass middle. Weimer.
Ball game.
25-19. Foothill wins it 3-1.
Because this kid has definitely proven that he can make things happen here in this ball game.
They will go with him. Bula Graft on a stretch run, just breaking tackles. The little man is in the clear to Tory territory. The 25, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Knights. What a run, the freshman, Bula Graft.
Ooh, I tell you what. There were at least 3 times on that run that he should have gone down or he should have been wrapped up. Missed tackles there cost La Jolla Country Day as Bula Graft, the freshman running back for Bishops, is able to take it in. And that was a determined run there, Andy.
So 1st and 10. Brandon Lewis in the shotgun. Has time to throw. And he'll fire, and he has a man diving catch. Did he hold on to it? He did. What a catch from Kendall Keys. And that may be the KBC Sports Player of the Week.
What a catch he laid himself out there, and a great throw, as you said. Read it nicely, did Lewis, and really caught his receiver on the go, and just kind of put it out there right on the outstretch of his fingertips. He laid out, and he made a catch.
1-1.
You know when a pitcher is behind an account and throws his breaking ball, he's feeling it.
The pitch is going to be fisted to second base on a liner, and the ball is caught by McGrew, and Valley Christian wins the game on a Cameron Stewart no-hitter.
Wow, what a way to go out if you're Cameron Stewart. A no-no in the championship game. If there's scouts out there, they had to be impressed by this young kid's velocity, control, and breaking ball all worked well today. He had it going for this Valley Christian team.
What a gem. He's going to give it to Tyree on an exchange against the zone, do a little 3-man weave. This is Tyrell back with it. Tyrell's going to go lob backdoor. Tyree Robinson with a flush.
Now that was nice. Very nice design play.
Uwaba back there. Bogart takes a snap. He's going to run the play. He's going to throw. He's got a man open at the 10. It's underthrown. It's incomplete. No, or is it caught? It is a catch. Wow, juggling catch inside the 5-yard line. Moliga. Was that Moliga pulling that one in? It is Moliga. Boy, that ball was deflected by one of the Falcons, and then Moliga, he lands on the ground and pulls it in. What a catch.
3 men in the backfield, back to the wing. This time inside counter to Telefaro. No, they're going to throw this one. He's got a man open. And what a catch! What a grab by tight end Joe Gigantino. He must have bobbled that ball 4 times in the air, and he was actually tipped by the defender.
Hello, I am Greg Cotta from PlayOnSports.com, here for the Player of the Game interview. I'm here alongside number 4, Robert Frazier, but the number 1 player of the game, both because of his productivity on offense and defense. You were able to come up with that big interception there at the end of the game. Also, your defense was able to shut down the opposing running game for the second half. You said before this interview, a second-half team. What happened at halftime that moved the game completely in your control?
We went in halftime. We went straight to the board, and Coach wanted us to fix up our play defense, our pass defense, and we did that. He wanted the corners to stay deep and true, and he wanted our linebackers to fill and get them holes, and that's what we did.
It's good, yeah. Now, so, but that specific interception that you had, did you expect the ball to be coming your way, or was it just kind of a right place at the right time thing?
I expected to come in. They were testing me deep first half, so I expected the second half, and I saw the quarterback check to his receiver, and I knew it was coming my way, and I just did everything I needed to do, and I came up with the pick.
That's good. Now, so but also you had a lot of productivity on the running game, as you mentioned, a rushing touchdown in the first half, but you also have a partner in crime back there, Parker.
Yeah.
Wade Parker. So the two of you, just kind of a tandem, get along off the field as well as on the field?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we're pretty close. We're like family. We live right around away from each other, but he's an awesome player. When I'm not in, he's doing work, and if he's not doing work, I'm doing work.
It's good to have that kind of trust on the field. And again, congratulations to start off 1-0. You excited about next week?
I'm very excited. We're finna get after it this week at practice and hopefully get another W next week.
All right, well, thank you so much for the interview, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more postgame here on PlayOnSports.com.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
4th and 10 from the 41-yard line for St. Augustine. Kennedy dropping back to pass. Looking left, firing, incomplete, intended for Noland. No penalty flags on the field. Mar Vista will take over on downs, and Jordan Lertique will take that knee. And the Mar Vista Mariners knock off the number 2 seeded St. Augustine Saints at Mesa College in a dominating performance on both sides of the football for Mar Vista. They trailed 14-0 and came back.
Again, down 2-0, facing adversity. And they've really just turned the table around since game number 3. Set an attack, great block made back inside the Maverick zone. A chance there by Bosback back inside the Maverick zone. Ball attacked there by Bosback. A second opportunity by Bosback. Lift violation call. Winner. It's over the neck call. Oh my goodness. Bosback reached over on the attack. A Maverick error wraps up the title for the Presentation Panthers. A 15-9 victory in game number 5, and they wrap it up coming back from 2-0 down match-wise and take it 3 games to 2.
36-35 and driving. And
What?
Do you have anything good?
Nope. Winging it is 80% of this game. And we're on. So, this is PlayOnSports.com. I'm Greg Cott alongside Marcus Zamzow here for our post-game show. Elk Grove High School able to win 35-21. Really just a solid defense. It seemed like it was going to be neck and neck here in the first half, and then in the second half, it just seemed like Elk Grove just kind of blew the gates open. As we just had, our player interview, he said, Coach said, play deep, cover the corners, make sure that let the linebackers do their job in the middle. And it seemed like the whole defense stepped up. Do you think that they're showing signs of maybe a team that can go deep into playoffs later in the season?
Yeah, definitely. The defensive line got a lot of penetration. They brought a lot of heat tonight. They got off to a good start getting ready for a real tough schedule. Lincoln Stockton also has a tough schedule. They got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but I think they have the talent to recover from a loss like this. It wasn't a glaring loss, but there was some things that they need to work on protection-wise.
Right, as you mentioned, not a glaring loss. With over 100 yards rushing as well as a few throwing touchdowns. It seemed like when they were on, they really were the better team playing, but it seemed that Elk Grove had the resilience to really knock this one through. So maybe it's just kind of early season jitters or even conditioning things. We'll see what this team can turn into. I expect big things coming from both teams, and coming up, as you mentioned, both of them having tough schedules. But really, the story of the day was the Elk Grove offense being able to control the clock and letting the defense do the job of shutting down Lincoln High's running game.
Yeah, one of the advantages of running that wing T, there's a lot of inside runs that just burn the clock. Once they get those big plays and get the lead, they can just ride the clock just like they did towards the end of the second half.
Right. So a very eventful first half led to a very uneventful fourth quarter, but exciting regardless. And that's probably going to do it for our broadcast here. I'm Greg Cotta alongside Marcus Zamzo. I'd like to thank our guys around here. We've got Will McCombs behind me and Tim Knight doing all the camera work. So thank you so much to all the crew. And thank you again to Play on Sports. It's a great opportunity. We're really excited, and we'll see you all next week. PlayOnSports.com, your source of high school football.